Now I'll call the Economic Development Meeting District Number 1 to order. It is Wednesday, March 26, 2025. The time is 5:48. We will have the prayer by Mr. Chad Macharan and the pledge by Mr. Lloyd Brown. Mr. Macharan.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
All right, let's go into the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Tommy Pollard, Michael Landry, Marcus Broussard, Lloyd Brown,
Here.
Warren Goshasan, Natalie Broussard, Dustin Swear, James Trahan,
Here.
Scott Ronsonet, Brock Pellerin, Brian Napier, Lady Fontanet Brown, Cayman Crapel, Chad Macharan.
All right, we have 11 members in a quorum. I need a motion to go into public comments. I have a motion by Councilman Ronsonet and a second by Mr. Broussard. Councilman Ronsonet. Please vote your machines to go into public session. We are now in public session. Public comments regarding ordinances or resolutions. Seeing and hearing none tonight, I need a motion to go back into a regular session. I have a motion by Scott Ronsonet, a second by Cayman Crapel. Please vote your machines to go back in regular session. Marcus, Mr. Broussard. All right, we're now back into regular session. I have the approval of the minutes, regular meetings on March 12th, 2024. Need a motion to approve. Have a motion by Mr. Broussard, Marcus Broussard, a second by Brock Pellerin. Any opposition on the minutes? Vote your machines, please. And that motion carries. Minutes are approved. Next, we have special business. There is none. Next is ordinances introduced for public hearing. There is none. We go on to resolutions. Summary number 06, introduced by Parish President. Madam Clerk.
A resolution authorizing the Iberia Parish President to execute supplemental agreement number 2 to a previous agreement by and between the State of Louisiana, Department of Transportation and Development, with Meyer Engineers LTD and Iberia Parish Government relating to State Project H-013522.5, Federal Aid Project Number H-013522, South Lewis Street widening, Iberia Parish, amending the 2025 Economic Development District Number 1 fund budget in the amount of $57,499 to recognize federal funding passed through Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development for 80% of total engineering services in conjunction with said project.
All right, I need a motion. I have a motion by Councilman Lloyd Brown and a second by Councilman Natalie Broussard. Mr. Brown?
I waive.
Mr. Brown waves. Ms. Broussard?
Wait.
Ms. Broussard waves. Any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, please vote your machines on summary number 6. And that motion carries. Next, we have summary number 7, introduced by Parish President. Madam Clerk.
A resolution amending 2025 Economic Development District Number 1 Fund Budget and Sewer District Number 1 Fund Budget in the amount of $300,000 to appropriate funding for a UL lift station with operating transfers between funds, all to be funded from fund balance previous years of EDD.
All right, I need a motion. I have a motion by Mr. Lloyd Brown, a second by Scott Ronsonet. Mr. Brown?
I waive.
Mr. Brown waves. Mr. Ronsonet waves. All right. Seeing no other discussion, please vote your machine on summary number 7. And that motion carries. Next, we have ordinances introduced for publication. There is none. I need a motion to adjourn. I have a motion by Ms. Broussard, a second by Michael Landry. Please vote your machines to adjourn.
Thank you.
And this meeting is adjourned. The time is 5:53. I now call the Iberia Parish Council meeting to order. It is March 26, 2025. The time is 6:03. We will have the prayer led by Councilman Chad Macheran and the pledge led by Councilman Lloyd Brown. Mr. Macheran.
Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses,
As we forgive those who trespass against us,
and lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
Let's face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Tommy Pollard, Michael Landry, Marcus Broussard, Lloyd Brown,
Here.
Warren Goshenson, Natalie Broussard, Dustin Swear, James Trahan,
Here.
Scott Ronsonet, Brock Pellerin, Brian Napier, Lady Fontanette Brown, Cayman Crapel, Chad Macheran.
Right, we have 11 members in a quorum. We'll go on to council member announcements. Mr. Brock Pellerin.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to yield a little bit of my time to Miss Hannah Bertrand to speak about one of the wonderful festivals we got coming up in the parish. Miss Hannah?
All right, without objection, Ms. Hannah, please state your name and title. Who you with?
Thanks for having me. My name is Hannah Bertrand, and I'm a board member for the New Iberia Spanish Festival. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So what he's handing out right now is a bunch of rack cards for our festival. It has the schedule on the back. Our festival is going to be held April 11th, 12th, and 13th this year. We celebrated in April because not a lot of people know that New Iberia was founded by the Spanish, which led to Iberia Parish being founded. So we like to celebrate the heritage and bring it back to the students each year in the community. So any money we make during our festival goes throughout our education efforts throughout the year. Sometimes we've been able to send students to Spain on a exchange student program, which we're trying to bring back. So a lot of almost all the money that is raised during our festival stays in our community to help with educational purposes and continues to spread our mission of the Spanish heritage and how it's influenced Louisiana. So I can answer any questions you have. If not, I'm just here to invite y'all to come and, check out the names on there. Because if y'all Romero, Prados, Miguez, Lopez, y'all are Spanish. A lot of people are like, I'm French. You may not be, though. So I'm available for any questions. And that's it. I just hope we have good weather and that y'all come out. So thank y'all for having me.
All right, is there any questions for Ms. Hannah?
Thank you, Miss Hannah.
Seeing
Thank
none,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Move back. I have an announcement. I'd like to announce, first of all, this Saturday coming up at Sugar Arena, they're gonna have a chili cook-off for St. Jude at Acadian Fairgrounds, so everyone come out and support a good cause. Second announcement I'd like to announce is gonna be April the 12th at 809 Briarwood from 10 to 1. They're gonna have the famous lemonade stand that Councilman Goshenson, his daughter, puts on, and it's gonna be going to the mental health initiative. All the proceeds go to that. So come on out, enjoy the day. You're gonna have lemonade, water, food. There's no cost. If you wanna make a donation, fine. So come on out and enjoy the day at the lemonade stand if y'all can. All right, I have next Miss Natalie Broussard.
Speaking of Iberia Mental Health Initiative, Iberia Mental Health Initiative is going to have their Bayou Side race on May 5th, and that is to bring awareness to mental health. They've been doing things, doing programs at the schools and different programs in the community, as well as installing buddy benches at all of the schools with some of the proceeds that's been raised. Registration is open if you want to register to be a participant in the 5K or the 1 mile. And also, don't forget the Election Day, Saturday. Go out and vote. That's it.
All right, Ms. Broussard, you is back. Any other council member announcements? All right, seeing and hearing none, we'll go on to parish president announcements.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Litter abatement took place on Saturday, March the 15th. A total of 6 people participated from 8 a.m. to noon. 82 bags of trash was collected around North Romero Road and US 90 under the overpass. From March the 12th through the 25th, the Public Works Department completed several tasks, which include culvert cleaning, debris pickup, road patching, road repairs, side booming, and other work, as you can see detailed on the screen, along with the districts where the work was actually performed. So I'll leave that up there for you to take a look at it for a while. Last week, our director of OSEP, Brandon Migas, conducted a walkthrough of the Westgate High School gym with some school board members. The gym will now be used as a designated area or designated evacuation pickup point, replacing the Sugarina. This change is a part of the ongoing efforts to improve emergency response, logistics, and better accommodate residents during an evacuation. That's a big deal right now, especially when we're getting the school board to be a part of what we're trying to do. We have a lot going on when it comes to what Brandon is doing over there. Regarding to Patuville overpass, guys, the letting is expected to take place soon, with construction scheduled to begin this summer. Work will be conducted on one side of Highway 90 at a time, just one side at a time, reducing traffic to a single lane in each direction during the construction. This is a DOTD project, and this is something that we've been waiting for quite some time. Something else dealing with Brandon. Brandon expressed the importance of installing generators at all of the parish recreation centers. These facilities often serve as critical community hubs during emergencies, providing shelters, cooling or heating stations, and distribution points for supplies. Equipping them with generators will ensure that they remain fully operational during power outages caused by hurricanes, severe weather, or other emergencies. Reliable backup would also allow these centers to support residents when they need it the most. Additionally, the generator for the jail is ready to be installed. Brandon is currently waiting on the parish to the $130,000 matching contribution so we could move forward with it. That's going to be coming to the parish council at the next council meeting, Scott. An emergency operations center, our EOC, seminar is scheduled for June the 18th. All leadership and ESF, which stands for Emergency Support Function leads, are strongly encouraged to attend. This seminar will include a simulation of a Category 2 hurricane designed to test the importance to test and improve our emergency preparedness response. This is a big deal for Iberia Parish. Last thing I want to talk about is just remember that Iberia Parish, to check the Iberia Parish government website if you have any changes that need to take place there. Also, Iberia Parish is currently hiring, and as you guys can see right there, we're hiring a wastewater treatment collection operator, a purchasing agent, Generate Museum, building inspector, Public Works 1, Public Safety Telecommunications 911. And the reason I was trying to go a little bit quick is because I want to introduce our new finance director, Ms. Erica Duplichan. She's here, and I want her to introduce herself. If you don't mind, Erica, go to the podium.
Well, hello, everyone. Long awaited, right? So I finally made it here. Very excited to serve the parish and be available to you in any capacity I can.
Why don't you tell
I
them a
might
little bit
regret
about
that, though, I think.
yourself? Tell them a little bit about yourself.
So I am from Louisiana, from Church Point. Acadia Parish had a little bit of a storm the other day. That was a situation, but we made it through. So I'm happy to be back home. So I served in school business for a long time in the finance realm. I had only 7 board members. This is a lot, but we will get used to that. I've met a few of you already, which was great. And I think I'm in good hands.
I think you are. Any questions? Okay, if I can say a little bit about her, because apparently she's not saying a whole lot. She actually was a finance director in Houston School Board. Their budget was somewhere around, I don't know, $770+ million. She have a lot of experience.
780, sir. $780 million in our general fund.
Yeah.
600 million in the debt service fund. No, a lot of stress.
So we waited a long time to get someone to come in here and do the job that Kim was doing. And we interviewed a lot of people. And I really feel we picked the correct person for that particular job in Iberia Parish. And I look forward to working with her. And I look forward to her working with all of you council members. Thank you all so very much.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
Is there
Any questions for me?
Any questions for the parish president at this time? All right, we have a question by Councilman Tommy Pollard.
All right, Larry, can you, I know I'm just walking in, but can you give us an update on the roads, or you gave that already?
Which one, buddy?
Yeah, the program.
Oh,
Road
the
program.
road for our taxes.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. It seems like I do this every day to somebody calling me with this here. So as everyone know, the council, but let me start a little bit from the beginning so the general public can understand what took place. April the 27th last year, a tax was passed, and that tax went in effect July the 1st. We got our first check probably in either September or October. Prior to that, we started working with the parish council, trying to get the parish council to identify roads and priority roads in their district that they want. So around October, if I'm not mistaken, we went out and started doing the bond. We bond $17 million. I think all of that was cleared at the end of November or the beginning of December. I signed that. We have met with, we picked 3 companies, as y'all know, 3 engineers to do the actual work for Iberia Parish, to do the assessments of the roads. All of the roads have been assessed so far. I signed the actual contract with the 3 companies 2 weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago. So now they're actually doing what's called design. So they're designing all of your road work, and so they got to do some core samples and things like that, because a lot of the roads that we have, as you already know, are in pretty bad shape. So some of the roads got to go all the way down to salt cement. Some of the roads in some subdivisions may just need overlaying. So we can do those real quick. I got a phone call, I guess, from one of the contractors maybe a week or so, and they were talking about trying to, I think it was Matt, if I'm not mistaken, with Bayrard. And he was saying maybe the roads that's going to be easy to overlay, where you don't have to worry about getting additional right-of-ways and all this stuff, maybe try to get those out to bid right quick, like, so we can get some actual work done. With all of that said, by the time they do the engineering and design, I'm looking at probably August before they actually go out for bid. That's 30 days, so by the time that bid come back in September, then by the time you're awarded, they get typically 30 days to mobilize. So we're probably looking at October before you're going to start seeing some of these roads realistically. It could be a little earlier, but I'm going to say October, November. However, we are looking to move with the road that we're going to be doing for Lewis Street Road much quicker. We should be having that road ready to go out for bid, hopefully in another month or so. But Matt is handling that one, so if I'm saying something wrong, maybe you can help me with that one.
No, so on Lewis Street, we actually we done borings a week and a half ago on Lewis Street. We should have the report back on Lewis within probably next week or so. So we're going to progress that one forward pretty quickly. Unfortunately, when we did core Lewis, the top 5 inches of Lewis kind of fell apart. So we're going to have to evaluate where we proceed with that guy. As far as the overall road project, we did receive contracts about a little over a week ago. We went out for RFPs for geotechnical, and we actually started riding roads and assessing roads a little bit further as well. So we plan on hitting the ground running pretty heavily next week on those.
Thank you. So it's a process. As you can see, the very first road he's working on is Lewis Street, and we're already finding things. It's going to be an interesting project because we have a lot of roads that we're going to be doing throughout the parish, and I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to have people tell me or start putting on Facebook how they're upset because the road's all messed up and they can't get where they want to go in time. I'm looking forward to that. I really am.
Yeah.
Good.
Did I answer your question, Mr. Pollard?
Yes, it did, but one more question. I know we all did, council members, we all got there and did a priority list. And I just heard you say that they want to look at some of the easy one first. So we're not going to look at the priority list first, or are you going
No,
straight
you're
to
looking at the priority
or
list.
you going
All,
straight to
like the priority
easy?
ones are still priority ones.
Okay.
It's just that instead of trying to wait until you do the assessment on 10 roads,
Yes.
if it's really easy and quick to do it on 3 of the roads, let's just get those roads done instead of waiting until you finish all of your assessments is all it is.
Okay, thank you. I'll yield back.
You're still
Mr.
using
Chairman.
the same process.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Let the record reflect, Madam Clerk, that Mr. Pollard's in attendance with us. Yield back, Mr. Pollard.
Yes, sir.
All
Thank you,
right.
Tommy.
Next, we have Councilman Brock Pellerin.
In regards to the Pattyville overpass, they're also overlaying that road in that area right now. The overpass is going to take place, I'm assuming, after they finish the overpass,
I would have
right?
to think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, that's a DOTD project.
Yeah.
So I'm only going to get updates from them when I request, to be frank with
Over the
you.
railroad track. I'm thinking.
Okay, Mr. Pellerin, you is back. Any other questions for the parish president this time? Seeing none.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we'll go on now. I need a motion to go into public comments. I have a motion by Mr. Lloyd Brown, a second by Mr. Tommy Pollard. Please vote your machines to go into public comments. All right, motion carries. We're now into public comments. Item number 1, Madam Clerk.
Comments from the general public on agenda items.
All right, seeing and hearing none. Item number 2, Madam Clerk.
Persons being considered for appointment to parish boards, commissions to address the council.
All right, seeing and hearing none, we have none. I need a motion to go back into regular session. I have a motion by Councilwoman Natalie Broussard, a second by Councilman Cameron Capel. Please vote your machines to go back into regular session. All right, we're now back in the regular session. We have community events and public service announcements. Number 1, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Katie Wormser to address the council regarding the Books Along the Tesh Literary Festival.
All right, welcome, Ms. Wormser. Please
Thank
state your name and title and address, please.
Hi, I'm Katie Wormser, and I am on the committee for the Books Along the Tesh Literary Festival. This year is our 9th annual festival, and each year we have an esteemed author that is our great Southern writer. This year is Mary Kay Andrews, who has written, I guess you could call it beach reads, but she's from Georgia, and she's coming in for the weekend, and she has been a New York Times bestseller. So we're really excited to have her. And then, of course, we have 3 days of events. We have almost over 25, 30 events, so I won't bore you with all of them, but some of the highlights are on Saturday. As always, we'll have our Authors Books Fair lining Main Street, and then we'll also have our Jazz It Up opening reception Friday evening and our Fado Dough dinner on Saturday night. And we'll have Cajun dancing lessons that start at 6, which is really fun. And we also have a lot of local authors that are going to be giving presentations all day Saturday. We have our writers track on Friday, which is different writers coming to say about what they're doing, how to write articles about, this year we have the truth of an audience, so how to learn your audience, how to illustrate your book with Denise Gallagher, and how to market your book. So, and that all takes place at the Shadows Visitor Center. So we have a lot of really exciting things happening, and we passed out the schedule and the whole itinerary, so I hope all of you can make it. It's a good time.
Right, right, any questions from Ms. Wormser?
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wormser. All right, next we go on to reports, finance and administration action. There's none. Next is reports for parish or other governmental agencies. Item number 1, Madam Clerk.
Register of Voters, Christy Blanchard, and employees to discuss their recent CERA recertification at the National Association of Elected Officials Office in Little Rock, Arkansas.
How y'all doing?
Welcome, Ms.
Christy Blanchard, Register of Voters. I'm here tonight to thank y'all for allowing me and my staff to go to our certification that we have to maintain every 3 years. So we went to Little Rock. And our course for that class was bipartisanship in elections. So it was interesting. We did a class and a workshop. The workshop consisted of 2 days, and it was meeting with other states' elected officials just to hear how they run things. And of course, you know, we always think that our way is the better way to do things in Louisiana. Got a letter from Nancy Landry yesterday saying that, and some of you may have seen this already, that Louisiana is ranked 2nd in national election integrity, which means I say every other state needs to follow Louisiana's election process because it seems to work. So then, of course, I did get an executive order yesterday from the President of the United States talking about citizenship, and in that whole message, he talks about some of the things that we do in Louisiana, and I think, you know, maybe he may change things, or, you know, things, we might see something different, which, you know, would work, like all the ballots need to be in before that night of election, you know, all those things. I'm not gonna bore y'all with all of that, but got some good news about Louisiana. As always, y'all are welcome to come into our office to follow the process of what we do. Today we had sealing of the machines for Saturday's election. We did have some PEC from the Republican Party come to witness the sealing of the machines, to see the process. Y'all always welcome to come see that. Also, we have, you know, my office seals machines also, and you're welcome to view that anytime you would be interested. I could keep you posted on the dates. But again, my main thing was here to thank y'all for allowing us to be out of the office to go to this certification that we're required to do. I wanted to talk a little bit too that we will be getting some new voting machines. Not sure when it's going to be, and the process will be a little different, and it's all about a paper trail. Not too sure how that's going to work. It's going to be different for Louisiana, but again, you know, it may be the right thing to do because people would like to know how they voting and get that paper to see how they voted. I'm not sure when that's going to start. They still looking at machines. The other thing I want to talk about early voting. It was a low turnout. Generate, we opened 3 days, and it seemed like, I don't know, it seems like it did better because we had more people. We were busier for those 3 days instead of having 5 come on one day. We voted 129 in Generate the 3 days. We did Saturday, Friday, and Saturday. So it seemed to work, and we were, you know, busy. Some people did go, and we weren't there. So we're gonna do better on advertising for the hours. You know, not everybody gets the newspaper, so we have to figure out how to work together. Maybe make an announcement here. Maybe with the Generate city needs to announce it too. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is May election. It's a city election, May 3rd. We will not, and we're not required to open early voting in Generate. So we're not going to be open in Generate for that. And I also wanted to introduce my staff. Frankie Rito is my chief deputy, if she can stand up. And I have Sherelle, and if you've been hearing the little baby, I apologize that she brought Cannon. But Sherelle is fostering, and Cannon is his name, and he's 9 months old. So her and her husband are fostering, and that's Cannon, yeah. And then, and Marley Ray Westcott is my new employee, and she is my civil service position. So this is Marley Ray Westcott. So I wanted to introduce her because I come to you for her position, and that's the position I filled. and I'm glad she's here. She worked part-time through the whole fall elections, which she got to see a lot. She's very motivated, so I think she's here to stay. Although Larry just came and said I might take her. I'm like, no. But, so thank y'all for allowing us to come. And again, if y'all ever have questions for me, my door's open. Y'all come, and the staff. Okay?
All right, I think we have a couple
right.
of questions, Ms. Blanchard. Mr. Councilman Scott Ronsonet?
The early voting, I know the building's not complete, but if you could find out an update for Lowerville.
Okay, so the update, as far as I know, the state is waiting on, so you have to contact the state, Sherry Haskey's office. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. You have to request it, if you're interested in that early voting site for Lowerville.
The reason I'm
And-
bringing it up, the outside is closed in. They have light, they have electricity, and we're framed. So this would be the perfect time to go ahead and drop your line.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about a lot cheaper than fishing and doing what we got to do later. So
Yeah, so if you still interested in doing that, then you need to contact the Commissioner of Elections, Sherry Haskey, and start the process with her, and maybe CC Nancy Landry, and ask what you're at, let them know what you want. Start the process with that, and then, they'll call my office, maybe check with David or whatever and see. Same thing for District 13 too, if you're still interested in that.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay?
All right, next we
All right.
have a question, Councilwoman Brown.
Ms. Kirsty, I want to just thank you and your office for the tremendous work you guys are doing with early voting and just voting in general. But on behalf of the citizens of Jeanerette and Iberia Parish, I know we are very appreciative of that early voting site. And so many people were contacting me about voting early during the week, and I was like, well, no, it's just open on those days. So moving forward, we can probably get the city of Jeanerette to put it on the water bill. I don't know if New Iberia can do the same, but I know for the city of Jeanerette, they have a little memo line, and we can put the early voting dates on there for the times whenever the early voting location is open. But thanks so much, and the council, thank you guys so much for supporting that early voting location. And then my next question is, what was the turnout overall for early voting so far in Iberia Parish?
For this election, we right at, what we at, Sherelle? 18?
Yeah, New Iberia did, New Iberia did 16, 17, and Jeanerette did 129. So we're almost at 1,800 in person, and the absentee by mail is almost at 1,000.
Okay, so Jeanerette's like at 10%. That's not bad. Okay, all righty.
Yeah,
Thank
so,
you.
and remember, the voters who went vote, the 129, they had very few from New Iberia that stopped. Most of them
Okay.
were Jeanerette
Good.
area, so,
Right.
yeah.
All right. Thank you. I yield back.
Councilwoman Brown, you is back. I think we have a question by the parish president.
Yeah, I probably didn't understand what you said, but I think you said something about Louisiana's ranked number 2 with whatever.
And
But
voting integrity.
Integrity.
Mhm.
But we're getting ready to change up something?
Well, the only thing that I know, we got an executive order yesterday from the president on our naturalization. When I first came to the Register of Voters office in 2006, we were required, when somebody came in and they put that they were born in Cuba or Puerto Rico, Spain, another country, they were required to show a citizenship, your birth certificate, a passport, something like that. Then along the years went by, and then we had to stop because some kind of lawsuit. So I think it was Tom Scheller who asked us to stop doing that. So now they're going to be asking for proof. So I don't know the exact date. It said when I read the order, it said 30 days
So
from
that's
the
only
date.
people that wasn't born in the United States.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So you have to prove now. So they weren't born, but they could have become a citizenship and got their naturalization papers, which they bring and they carry, and if they show us that, then they can register.
That's good enough. Thank
So,
you.
yeah, that's what
Appreciate
that
you.
is.
Appreciate you.
We have another question by Councilwoman Brown.
Oh, just, I'm sorry. Just curious, who's ranked number 1? Did they say who was ranked number 1?
No,
in regards to voter
mm-mm.
integrity?
No. I don't know. I don't know.
I just was curious.
But I'll find out and let you know.
Alrighty, thank you.
There's a little area in Iberia, in Louisiana called Avery Island.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, that one.
You back, Councilwoman Brown?
Yeah.
All right, seeing no other questions, thank you, Ms. Blanchard.
All right, thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
See y'all.
Next, we're going to item number 2, Madam Clerk.
Commissioners Connie Longlinay and Nara Crowley to address the council on behalf of the Twin Parish Port Commission Boards and Commissions.
Please state your name and title, ma'am. and your
Hi,
address.
I'm Nara Crowley. Connie had an accident today, so she's injured and she wasn't able to attend, and she apologizes, but she's okay. She'll be okay. So she and I were appointed as commissioners for Twin Parish Port 4.5 years ago. The Twin Parish Port is actually the Delcombe Port, which is located in Iberia Parish. And we've been working for the past several years, and we discovered we have 11 commissioners, and we're represented very small in Iberia Parish. We have 8 from Vermilion and 3 from Iberia currently. Usually it's about 9 and 2. And one of the things that we discovered, I passed a map around which shows you an equal size of both Vermilion and Iberia Parish. And the millage that we provide is 4 mills, and Vermilion provides 2 mills. And as far as the voter population, we have 6,800 plus, and they have 7,800 plus. So one of our proposals is to equalize the commission to 10 instead of 11, and have them 5 from Vermilion and 5 from Iberia Parish. We'd like to see equal voices on the commission, since it's equally divided. So that's the proposal I'm here to bring to you, and hope that you'll go along with this. If you have any questions about it.
Yes, ma'am. We have a question by Councilman Kamen Crapel.
Chairman, I just want to say that Ms. Nara is doing a great job on the Twin Parish Port Board. I'll be bringing a resolution to the council here pretty soon to encourage our state rep to kind of help us on this issue, and hopefully we could kind of resolve some of these issues.
Good to hear, sir.
Yeah.
Yield back.
Yep.
Right, next we have Councilman Marcus Broussard.
Yeah, just to clarify, 4 mills for us, 2 mills for Vermilion?
Yes.
Can you explain why that is?
No, I can't
no, you
explain
can't?
why that is.
I like the honesty. Maybe
That's why we are.
Is that part of what you're trying to do, is get everything, not
Yes.
just the votes? So you have 8 from Vermilion, 3 from here?
Yeah.
So we're trying to equalize that?
Yes.
As well as the millage? It's all kind of coming?
We're trying to make things equal
Okay.
and right.
Yeah.
And this is a start by having equal say. If we have at least 5 and 5, at least it'll be fair.
Is that the way the charter's written, that they have 8 and 3 or 9
Well,
and
no,
2? Or is just the
yes,
way
they
it's
have, they're divided, the charter originally, which was written in 1977, is broken
That's older
down
than me.
into areas where we have only 2 from Iberia Parish, but we have 4 from Delcombe, 4 from Erath, and 3 from Vermilion. And the 2 from Erath and Delcombe are appointed by the mayors. So our proposal is to have the police jury and the council be in charge of appointing the commissioners from both parishes.
Okay, thank you for your explanation. I'm good,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Yield back. All right. Next we have Councilman Kamen Crapel.
So just to kind of answer your question a little bit, so Delcombe, the line passes right through the middle. So if Delcombe picks on the Vermilion side, you end up with more on the Vermilion side. So what she's trying to do is make it to where the council in Iberia picks and Vermilion picks. We put in $470,000 a year, and Vermilion puts in $230,000 a year. So we put in a good bit, and the thing is, I feel like if we putting in, our residents, should get some out of it. So that's kind of a big thing behind it. I yield back.
All right, seeing no other questions, thank you for coming, Ms. Crowley.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, next we go on to item number 3, Madam Clerk.
Chad Leger, Vermilion Police Jury, and Shannon Nouveau, Vermilion Parish Tourist Commission, to address the council regarding Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority Board.
All right, members, we had a call this morning from them, and they gathering more information to bring to us, so they will be possibly on the next agenda we have, so they won't be here to speak tonight.
All right.
So with that being said, we'll go back on to public work reports. Item number 1, Madam Clerk.
Public Works Department report for closed work orders dated February 26, 2025 through March 11, 2025.
All right, those are emailed to you. Next, we have special business. There's none. We're going to consent agenda items for public hearing and adoption. We have the minutes, Madam Clerk.
Correction to regular meeting minutes of February 19th, 2025, regular meeting of March 12th, 2025.
All right, we're on to summary number 53, introduced by Parish President. Madam Clerk.
A resolution of condolences to the family of Mr. Martin Bofield Dewey, who served as 16th Judicial District Attorney for St. Martin, Iberia, and St. Mary parishes of Louisiana, who passed away on March 15th, 2025.
Summary number 54, introduced by Lady Fontenette Brown, District 12. Madam Clerk.
A resolution of condolences to the family of Mr. Willie Pop the Cop Wilson Jr., Generate's first full-time African-American police officer, Assistant Chief of Police, and Alderman at Large, Mayor Pro Tem, who passed away on February 27th, 2025.
All right, summary number 53, introduced by Parish President. Madam Clerk. 55, sorry.
A resolution amending the 2025 royalty fund budget in the amount of $3,750,000 to accept CPRA GOMESA funding from the state for St. Mary, Upland Levee, Delcom, Avery, and Commercial Canal flood control structures and pumps. Engineering expenditures for said projects.
All right, summary number 56, introduced by Parish President. Madam Clerk.
A resolution authorizing the Iberia Parish President to execute supplemental agreement number 2 to a previous agreement by and between the State of Louisiana, Department of Transportation and Development, with Meyer Engineers, LTD, Iberia Parish Government relating to State Project H013522.5, Federal Aid Project Number H013522, South Lewis Street widening, Iberia Parish to further amend the 2025 Economic Development District Number 1 fund budget in the amount of $57,499 to recognize federal funding passed through Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development for 80% of total engineering services in conjunction with said project.
All right, summary number 57, introduced by Parish President. Madam Clerk.
A resolution authorizing the parish president to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement for the modification of State Highway Louisiana 3212 between the State of Louisiana through the Department of Transportation and Development and Iberia Parish to provide for the effective date thereof and to otherwise provide with respect thereto.
Summary number 58, introduced by Parish President. Madam Clerk.
A resolution authorizing the parish president to execute amendment number 1 to the intergovernmental agreement between the State of Louisiana through the Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority and Iberia Parish Government regarding construction of the Rodere Water Control Structure Project TV-0087 to provide the effective date thereof and otherwise to provide with respect thereto.
All right, at this time, is there anyone who would like to remove a consent agenda item for discussion? I have Councilman Chad Marchand.
Yeah, I'd like to remove 53 to offer a unanimous second and yield some time to the parish president, please.
All right, no objection. Next, we have Councilwoman Lady Fontenette Brown.
No, I was gonna make that same request, so
Okay.
don't worry about it.
All right, is there any other requests at this time? So we'll be voting on consent agenda items minus item number 53. Please vote your machines on consent agenda items.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I wanted to do summary number 54.
okay.
For
So,
unanimous.
all right, so we'll be voting on consent agenda items minus 53 and 54. All right, now please vote your machines for consent agenda items minus 53 and 54. And that item, that motion carries. Madam Clerk, go on to summary number 53.
53. A resolution of condolences to the family of Mr. Martin Bofield Dewey, who served as 16th Judicial District Attorney for St. Martin, Iberia, and St. Mary parishes of Louisiana, who passed away on March 15th, 2025.
All right, I have a motion by Councilman Chad Marchare.
Yeah, after discussion, I'd like to offer up a unanimous second, and I'd like to yield some time to the parish president, please.
All right.
Okay, if I can.
Without objection.
Mr. Chairman, if I can, I would like everyone to take a moment of silence and say a prayer for Bo, and then I have a few things I would like to say. Okay, Mr. Chairman, everyone knows that I had a very good relationship with Bo, and he's going to be terribly missed by me, and everyone else, but a lot by me with what we do in Iberia Parish government, and the relationship that we have with the District Attorney's Office in Iberia Parish as far as the Iberia Parish government is concerned. Bo is a man that I'll pick up the phone and call him at any particular time, go to his office, he'd come to office, and we would sit down and talk about the business of government. Because government is a business, no matter how people like to say it isn't, it is not, it's government. But you have to manage this thing as close as possible to a business, and I like to take care of business. That's just who I am. And when I was diagnosed with leukemia, after getting home from the first night in the hospital, I called Bo, and Bo came to meet me at home, and told me some things that I should do, and I followed it to a T, and in the long run, it paid off for me big time, because when a person is diagnosed with cancer, especially the way it hit me is, I was diagnosed in February and I had an election in October. So the first thing you think about doing is not saying anything. And Bo said the best thing you could do is make everyone aware of what's going on, because if you don't say what's happening and you miss some work, people are going to start saying you had a heart attack, you had a stroke, you got this, you got that. Tell the truth, say what's going on. And I followed his words, and we wrote a letter that night. And as you remember, everybody, I put it all on Facebook and did whatever I had to do. And of course he was right, because you still had people saying things. Some people saying I was dying. And I guess I'm talking a little bit too much. I just want to give our appreciations to Bo, and I'm gonna miss him dearly. And thank you so much. I'm done. I'm finished.
All right, Mr. Marchare?
Yeah, I'd like, if there's no further discussion, I'd like to offer up a unanimous.
Okay, we have some more questions. I'll hold that for you. Next we go to Mr. Rock Pellerin.
I was second.
Your second, okay. Broussard? All right. So let's go ahead and vote with a unanimous second on item number 53. Please vote your machines. And that motion carries with unanimous second. Go to item number 54, Madam Clerk, introduced by Lady Fontenette Brown, District 12.
A resolution of condolences to the family of Mr. Willie Pop the Cop Wilson Jr., Generate's first full-time African-American police officer, Assistant Chief of Police, and Alderman at Large, Mayor Pro Tem, who passed away on February 27th, 2025.
All right, I have a motion by Mr. Michael Landry, a second by Marcus Broussard. Mr. Landry?
I make the motion that we do a unanimous second.
All right. That being said, is that good with the second? All right. With no objection, please vote your machines.
Yeah.
Oh, Larry,
If I
sorry.
can, coincidentally, the day I found out I had leukemia, I was driving to Generate to meet with Gene and Willie. And I got a phone call from the director of pathology telling me to get to the emergency room. And you remember this, right, Gene? And and it was an unbelievable thing because they called and told me to get to the emergency room. So I get there with the meeting with Willie, and I tell Willie and Gene I got to take care of something because my mom was messed up. I just left the courthouse, driving there, and I get this phone call, right? And when you look at this, the person I was going to meet to have a meeting with, we're doing a resolution for him. The person that told me how to address what I had, we're doing a resolution for him. God work in mysterious ways. That's why I tell everyone, you got to have that faith in what God in God and try to follow His words. But Willie was an unbelievable person. I met him many years ago, and boy, he had many stories to tell. Many stories to tell. So, I'm done, but he had a lot of stories to tell.
All right.
He was an awesome
President's
man.
done. Right, without objection, we'll be voting on item number 54 with the unanimous second. Please vote your machines. And that motion carries with unanimous second. Next, we have ordinance introduced for public hearing and adoption. There's none. Next is resolutions introduced for public hearing and adoption. Summary number 59, Madam Clerk.
Okay. A resolution amending the 2025 Fire District Fund budget in the amount of $50,000 for the purpose of election cost expenses, all to be funded by fund balance previous years.
All right, need a motion. I have a motion by Marcus Broussard. I need a second. I have a second by Michael Landry. Mr. Broussard? Mr. Broussard waives. Mr. Landry? Mr. Landry waives. Any other discussion? All right, please vote your machine on summary number 59. And that motion passes. Next, we go to summary number 60, introduced by Clerk of the Council. Madam Clerk.
A resolution acknowledging the appointment of one member to the Iberia Parish Tourist Commission, representing the Iberia Preservation Alliance for a 3-year term to fill a vacancy created by the expired term of Ms. Lisa Dewey Lord, whose term expired December 31st, 2024, with same to be made retroactive to January 1st, 2025. Applications of interest on file, Ms. Lisa Dewey Lord.
All right, I need a motion. I have a motion by Mr. Marcus Broussard, a second by Dustin Swear. Mr. Broussard?
Just thanks Miss Lisa and all the other folks who decide to take their time and serve on our boards and commission. Miss Lisa, got anything to say you want to add? Nope, you good? Okay, just kind of picking at her. Nope, that's it. Thank you to her and all the others that step up and serve boards and commissions. Thank you.
Mr. Broussard, you is back. Mr. Swear?
I just like to ditto what Mr. Broussard said. I want to thank Ms. Lisa for offering her time, along with everyone else that joins all our boards and commissions. So thank you, Ms. Lisa.
All right. And at this time, in case y'all wondering, Ms. Lisa doesn't have to come in front of us because she's appointed by the Tourist Commission, so
Yeah.
it's not like normal where we have to come up, she has to come up on the podium. So with that being said, please vote your machines. And that motion carries. Congratulations, Ms. Lisa. Next, we're on to summary number 61, introduced by Parish President. Madam Clerk.
A resolution approving amendment to the manning and/or organizational tables for the executive branch of Iberia Parish Government as submitted by Iberia Parish President to include the position of purchasing agent to the Finance Department's Manning Chart, all in accordance with Sections 4-01A and B, 4-04 of the Iberia Parish Home Rule Charter.
All right, I need a motion. I have a motion by Mr. Brown. I have a second by Mr. Michael Landry. Mr. Brown?
Parish President, you got something you want to say about that?
Yeah, basically what I'm simply trying to do here is add a position to the Manning chart, purchasing agent position to the Manning chart.
Right.
We've got some things, as you know, in section 4-04, the administrative reorganization. I got some things I'm trying to do to this parish
Right.
to make this business
Smooth.
a little bit better. And all of you that called, I did talk to you guys and explain
Right.
to you what it is that I'm doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. You back, Mr. Brown?
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Landry?
I waive.
Mr. Landry waves. All right. Please vote your machines. And that motion carries. Summary number 62, introduced by Parish President. Madam Clerk?
A resolution approving amendment to the manning and/or organizational tables for the executive branch of Iberia Parish government as submitted by the Iberia Parish President to include the position of Chief Operating Officer to the Executive Department's Manning Chart, all in accordance with Sections 4-01A and B and 4-04 of the Iberia Parish Home Rule Charter.
All right, I need a motion. I have a motion by Michael Landry, a second by Laurie Brown. Mr. Landry?
I'm gonna yield some of my time to Larry if you got anything else to say.
Basically the same thing. I'm just following what, I need to go to you guys to make this change on the Manning according to section 4-04.
You yield back, Mr. Landry? Yes. All right, Mr. Brown?
No, he's told us.
Mr. Brown yields back. Next, we have Councilman Marcus Broussard.
Yeah, I got just a question. Where would I go to look at, I work in the private sector. We have an org chart. We have a hierarchy. Where do we have one on file here? It would just help me. I don't want us to be so top heavy at this place. It would help me understand the direction of, and I know you mentioned several times what you're trying to do, but an org chart put together, kind of describe job descriptions, things like that would help.
Yeah, so all you gotta do is contact her and she can give your secretary, your clerk.
She
and
has
can
that?
give you all of that.
Because I didn't ask for it. I'm behind on it. But I was curious if they had one. Okay.
got it.
Thank you. Can you send me one? Yep,
Yeah.
please.
Okay.
You back, Mr. Broussard?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, sir.
All right, next we have Councilman Dustin Swear.
Yeah, so, Mr. Larry, the question I have is, what would because I know 61 and 62, the summaries kind of, I guess, are gonna work hand in hand. I'm asking you is, what is the description of the COO?
If we have, it's a lot involved. That's why I'd asked at the last meeting if anyone had any questions to call me. Because we had to go to Archer to actually get the job description of a chief operating officer. I can get Edie to give it to you if you want to read it tomorrow or tonight. But it's quite involved. When you take a look at, for example, when you looked at what we just discussed on the agenda, and we went through what's taking place on item number 55 and 56 and 57 and 58. Those are things that's being negotiated for the most part by me. When we took office in 9 years ago, almost 10 years ago, Iberia Parish was a lot different as far as government than it is today. We had like 6 bridges or something we was doing, right, Natalie, guys? And it was tough because when we got here, the parish president have the authority to appoint CAOs and finance directors and all that stuff, and that's typically what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with that is you don't have anyone that have any type of historical knowledge as to what's going on. I look at this a little bit different. When you look at the 65 or so projects that we currently have right now that's going on, if someone had to become the parish president today,
Sure.
and they got to start trying to figure out all the stuff that I've been dealing with, they're going to have a little problem. So what I'm looking at doing is not really a whole lot different than any of the other parishes. You take a look at what's going on next door to us. In Lafayette, they have a CAO, Chief Operating Officer, Chief of Staff. The whole list goes on and on because there's so many different things that you're doing in this business. If one person pass or have a different,
Go somewhere else.
you got some problems. So we're just trying to.
So maybe to allude back to Mr. Broussard, when he's mentioned the word top-heavy, that might be one of my concerns, because then you're adding.
I want you to, if you don't mind, tell me what's top heavy here.
What you mean?
Exactly the question you're talking about, top heavy.
When you add, to me, when you're adding, so you're taking one position, you're moving it over, then you're making another position of a COO. That's what I mean by.
No, well, let me explain
Alluded to what he
it.
said, I mean by top-heavy.
Okay, let me
So,
explain. Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
You can explain, but
Okay.
that's just maybe one of my concerns or one of my.
I'll help you
issues
out.
I might have.
The purchasing office, the purchasing agent position that you currently we have a purchasing officer. You will not have a purchasing officer and a purchasing agent anymore. You're gonna have a purchasing agent. The purchasing officer position is gonna move away, it won't be there anymore. We're gonna have a chief operating officer that's actually going to be here working with the administration to move things forward. So it won't be two people in purchasing, if I'm understanding your question.
Okay.
It won't be two people in purchasing.
Right.
And when you talk,
Right now, what I mean is you're gonna move someone and put them in a different position? And then you're gonna hire a new purchasing agent, right?
I got some, we
Okay,
got
so
some.
that's
and
what I'm alluding to, right?
Yeah, first when we're talking personnel things, issues, Dustin, I prefer not doing that on television, if you get what I'm trying to say. That's why I asked you.
I'm just trying to be transparent.
I'm very transparent. No, I'm very transparent, but I don't, because you got people, jobs that we're talking about here.
I didn't mention any names.
I'm not either. But no, that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna be moving.
transparent.
It's all about being transparent. That's why I come to you and talk about the Manning chart.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
That's it?
You're welcome.
Swear you is back. All right, seeing no other comments, Mr. Brock Pellerman?
So on this chief operating officer, you're talking about this historical knowledge. Is this going to be a position where the said new parish president can't come in and fire this person?
That's right. That's a position like any other person. It's not a position that's appointed by the parish president. You're exactly on it.
Okay.
A parish president may come here and may not want certain things because you might have other things in place that they feel they can run the operation with.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it to where whoever's going to come to this parish later and be the parish president, when they get here day one, they should be able to talk to someone and help them continue to move this parish in the direction it's going. Instead of all these things going on, and you come here and you have absolutely no idea what's going on. So if you have funds that you're trying to get from capital outlay, no one knows what's going on. You're going to lose those funds. If you're working on something, for example, I'm working on a 5-year plan right now for a sewer facility that we're going to be dealing with money from the federal government. There's a lot that's going on, Brad. There's a lot that's going on. We're talking to a lot of people.
Right.
So I'm the one involved in that. When I leave from here, we have a strong chance to miss out on some things. I'm just trying to help the parish. So that's the reason for creating this position.
All right.
And there's only one position, it's not two.
Yes, sir.
It's actually taking your procurement officer, and the person that would come in would be a procurement agent,
Right,
not officer. You won't need that anymore.
okay.
Mr. Pellerman, you is back. Next we have Marcus Broussard.
Yeah, I like the continuity idea. When I say top-heavy, I mean there's a lot of chiefs and not enough Indians. Right now, we have an Indian problem. People that do the work in public works, people that do the work. So when I say that statement, I mean we need more of those guys. So in my mind, I'm seeing more money going toward, not that it's not needed, that we need more money with getting Indians to come do the work, to do the public works jobs, to do the inspectors' jobs, all the stuff that thought you were making a look. That's what I meant by that. So again, I like the continuity idea. It's a good idea because when this thing turns over in another election, there's going to be a lot of looks at, at maybe the couple of us that remain, hopefully for the second or third term, or whatever. So I get the point. I like that. Again, my top heavy statement was relative to we need more Indians to go pick up trash. We need more Indians to dig ditches. We need more Indians to clean culverts out. So that's my statement. So gotcha. Thank you.
All right.
All right, yield back, Mr. Broussard.
Yeah.
All right. Seeing no other questions, please vote your machine on summary number 62. And that motion carries with Ms. Broussard and Mr. Swear in opposition. Summary number 63, introduced by Recreation and Playground Commission, Madam Clerk.
A resolution amending the 2025 Recreation District Number 1 fund budget in the amount of $172,228 to carry over capital improvement funding for various projects.
All right, I need a motion. I have a motion by Councilman Scott Ronsonet and a second by Councilman Lloyd Brown. Mr. Ronsonet?
No, they're doing a great job. We need to get this transferred so we can get it spent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's right.
All right, yield back, Mr. Ronsonet?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Ronsonet, yields back. Mr. Brown?
Wave.
Mr. Brown waves. All right. Seeing no further questions, let's vote on summary number 63. 63, vote your machine. Lady Brown? And that motion carries. Summary number 64, introduced by Regional Planning Commission, Madam Clerk.
Oops. Okay. 64.
64, Madam Clerk, introduced by Regional Planning Commission.
A resolution granting preliminary and final plat approval to a subdivision of property belonging to Glenn Romero, located on the Lowerville Road in District 9, to subdivide 65,515.62 square feet of property into 2 lots for residential use, subject to compliance with Planning Commission staff report, PC 2025-0001, all as reviewed and recommended by the Iberia Parish Regional Planning Commission.
All right, I need a motion. I have a motion by Councilman Scott Ronsonet. I need a second. I have a second by Councilwoman Natalie Brown. Mr. Ronsonet?
Natalie Brown.
Natalie Bruce.
We got to be-
We have enough browns on this council.
Got 3 Browns tonight.
All right.
Hey, Councilman Ronsonet.
I don't think there was any concern, but if anybody doesn't know, Mr. Glenn Romero sat in this chair.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, just
Years.
for knowledge, but that's it. Thank you, sir.
All right.
For a long time.
All right, Mr. Ronsonet, yields back. Ms. Broussard?
Yeah, I think this is, he already gave the front piece of property to his son, and he's just trying to give the back piece of property to his son. This is just a family partition.
That's it.
Right.
Very simple.
Yield back.
Yes.
Ms. Broussard?
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. Now you
Right, next we have, ooh, boy, wow, well, I regret that one. All right, next we have Councilman Brock Bellerin.
Mr. Landry, you have anything to add on this one?
No, I think Ms. Natalie covered it well. Cota Romero, Mr. Cota Romero is acquiring a back piece from his father.
Yeah.
Pretty basic.
Yield.
Yield back. All right. Seeing no further discussion, please vote on summary number 64. Vote your machines, please. And that motion carries. Next, summary number 65, introduced by Regional Planning Commission. Madam Clerk?
A resolution granting preliminary and final plat approval to subdivision of property belonging to Lionel H. Sutton II, located at 8905 East Old Spanish Trail in District 11, to subdivide 5.618 acres of property into 1 lot for residential use, subject to compliance with Planning Commission staff report, PC 2025-0002, all as reviewed and recommended by the Iberia Parish Regional Planning Commission.
All right, I need a motion. I have a motion by Councilman Brock Pellerin and a second by Councilwoman Natalie Broussard. Councilman Pellerin?
I'll yield my time to Mr. Landry again.
Yep. So this is a similar one. The Raven Domain is purchasing the property from Sutton Industries to make it a larger tract, and of course, Raven Domain has access to the frontage at 9109 Old Spanish Trail Road. So it is not a landlocked property in the rear.
Good.
Mr. Pellerin yields back. I have a question. Next is Councilman Tommy Pollard.
Is this commercial property or?
No, I'm pretty sure it's residential. I don't have the
Residential.
staff report right in front of me.
Okay. All right, I'm good.
You
Thank
good,
you.
Mr. Pollard? All right, Mr. Pollard yields back. All right. Seeing no further discussion, please vote your machine on summary number 65. And that motion carries. Next, we have ordinance introduced for publication. There's none. Announcements. Our next council meeting will be April 9th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Please visit the Iberia Parish Government website to complete the stormwater management survey and view adjudicated properties through Civic Source. All Iberia Parish Council and Joint Committee meetings can be viewed live during scheduled meetings on the Iberia Parish Government website. I need a motion to adjourn. I have a motion by Cameron Capel, second by Ms. Natalie Broussard. Please vote your machines for adjournment.
That's it.
Marcus Broussard? Mr. Broussard? All right, this meeting is now adjourned. And the committee meeting to order. It is Wednesday, March 26, 2025. The time is 7:16. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Tommy Pollard.
That's all right. I don't want none.
Michael Landry.
Here.
Marcus Broussard. Lloyd Brown.
Here.
Warren Goshenson. Natalie Broussard. Here. Dustin Swear.
Here.
James Trahan.
Here.
Scott Ronsonet.
Here.
Brock Pellerin.
Here.
Brian Napier. Lady Fontanet Brown. Cayman Capel. And Chad Macheran.
All right, we have 11 members in a quorum. I need a motion to go into public comments. I have a motion by Tommy Pollard, a second by Michael Landry. Please vote your machines to go into public comments. Mr. Landry? All right, we're now in public comments. Item number 1, Madam Clerk.
Comments from the general public on agenda items.
All right, we have a few. First up, we have for agenda item number 2, Ms. Christine Jones is against AT&T failure to comply. Ms. Jones, can you step up to the mic, please? Please state your name and address for the record, Ms. Jones.
My name's Christine Jones. I live at 2611 Mars Road, but I work at 2019 Jefferson Terrace. Can I just go ahead with my statement? Yes. Okay. My reason for being here this time is due to AT&T not abiding by the Section 105-172 public notification. They were told several times at the last planning and zoning meeting that the signage was to be displayed to the public. That was never done. AT&T claimed that Jacob Weaver and Miss Agnes told them that their office would put this sign up. However, the article states that the applicant is responsible for putting this sign up within 5 days of submission of the application. Therefore, if Jacob and them said they were going to put it, it wasn't done. To me, that's AT&T's responsibility to follow up on that. So they say they want to put this tower up in a highly public area, but they haven't even followed the first rule. I don't know if y'all call it a rule, a statute, law, whatever is in. I'm new to this, so I'm learning. But to me, if they can't even put a sign up to let the public know that this is coming, then who's to say they're going to follow all the other rules? They've had a week since the last planning and zoning meeting. This sign still has not put up. I did send a video today I sent it to District 6, I don't know if that was you, Natalie, of the road of Jefferson Terrace. I didn't want to just come up here and be hearsay saying this sign's not up. I tried to submit proof, this sign is not there. And in all of that, I mean, I would appreciate y'all considering the denial of this application if they can't even abide by one of these rules. That it's very simple, putting a sign up and letting the public know. So that's all I have.
All right. Any questions for Ms. Jones? Seeing none, thank you, Ms. Jones.
Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Jared Gilbo, Public Works, item number 1. He is against. Mr. Gilbo, please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Jared Gilbo, 4405 Hazard. And I want to confirm that they keep saying that I live right next door to where they want to put the tower up, and they keep saying they keep calling them both sheds. One in the back is a shed that it can't fall on, but the one next to my house is a mother-in-law suite. And so it's not actually just a shed. It's actually a mother-in-law suite and a shed that it can't fall on. They did shorten it, that it's not gonna hit the house, but it's still gonna fall on the mother-in-law suite. But I am against.
Any questions for Mr. Gilbo? I have one by Ms. Natalie Broussard. Ms. Broussard?
So you own the property that the two structures are located on that they're requesting the variance
Yes, ma'am.
for?
I sure do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, wait.
You bet, Ms. Broussard. All right, next we have Councilman Brock Pellerin.
That was pretty much my question about him owning the structure. Mr. Gilbert, were you notified of this?
No, well, actually I was, but not of this meeting, no. The previous meetings, yes.
Okay. Good.
All right, Mr. Pellerin, you is back. Seeing no further questions, Mr. Gilbo?
Thank you.
Sir. Next we have Mr. Frank Barber, Public Works Committee, item number 2, which he's against. Mr. Barber, please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Frank Barber, 1818 Jefferson Terrace Boulevard, New Iberia, Louisiana, 70560. I'm opposed to the construction of the AT&T tower that's located at 1902 Jefferson Terrace Boulevard, next door to my house, for similar reasons as the gentleman just spoke. They did back the tower up, but if it falls, the debris is going to hit my house. And it's right next to the road. There's several things that safety issues that were raised at the zoning meeting, and they unanimously rejected the application, as the record will show. Also, I want to thank Ms. Jones for an excellent presentation. I totally concur with everything she said. The sign that they were supposed to put up was never put up. I live next door and I look at that every day. The sign was never there. They did not comply with that basic rule. Excuse me. I do want to introduce this, or give to you a copy of this email from Mr. Joey Derwon. Excuse me. M&M's got me. It was chocolate kind of. You know, they says melt in your mouth, not in your hands. That's not true. It's all over everybody.
Whoa.
Anyway, Mr. Joey Derwan, the appraiser, I think y'all familiar with him. I asked him, he couldn't be at the meeting, so he did write me an email. Technically speaking, and Ian can chime in on this, when you consider the application, you can't consider the factors you can consider in rejecting or approving it. Cannot include just aesthetics, just the way it looks. Natalie and I did do my homework. He fussed at me last time. So, well, you know, okay. I did it. So I did highlight a lot of the case law. You can use aesthetics and something else. And the other thing you can use is property values. And Joey Derwan, and I'll read it to you. It says, "Hi, Frank. As I mentioned at the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting 6 months or so back, most atypical structures, cell towers, billboards, etc., placed adjacent to or in close proximity to residential properties adversely affects their value by comparison. I think the most sensitive element of the whole situation is your property being located in an area zoned for residential use. This is housing use. They want to put something not residential. It is my professional opinion that atypical structures such as billboards and cell towers should never be placed adjacent to or in close proximity to residentially zoned properties in an effort not to have an adverse effect on their value. Kindly regards, Joey Durant." And I'll just give you a copy of this so I can put it in the record. I don't know who I give it to. Oh, okay. with that said, I did my homework. The AT&T did not comply with our local ordinance. This is our community. We're not ceding authority to AT&T to tell us where they're going to put their structures. It's up to us to determine that. In zoning, we have nice zoning laws. People buy property because of the zoning laws. They don't want to buy property next to certain things that are objectionable. I want the value of my property to stay like it is. I don't want AT&T's tower to decrease the value of my property. Also, the landlords, in their presentation at the zoning meeting, they gave this map, and we probably could put it up there. The map, the little red circle where they said this tower had to be located. Then they said they contacted all the property owners, and they list the property owners. They did not. I called these people, and they said they were never contacted. So I don't think they're being exactly truthful about what they're putting in this application. I mean, if it was that easy for me to just call them and they said no, no one ever talked to me about using my property. I did my own homework. I think we have to investigate what did they actually do. Well, this application's this big, thick thing. Most of it's just engineering stuff, concrete rebar and all that sort of stuff, piping, welding, and all that other stuff. But the last 2 pages of this, if you look at that list of people, they did not call. I mean, they called some of them. But the ones, I picked up 3 property owners that were never contacted, yet they stated in their application that they did. So, I mean, what else they not telling us? I think it's disingenuous for them just to come in here with the attitude that they get what they want. I think this thing needs a deeper look. What's her name? I have it in my notes. The one that's with SmartLink, she said she would provide me with all her notes, that she contacted all these people and complied, and I've not received that. That was whenever the zoning meeting was. Since then, I've not received a scratch, an email, a phone call, a text, nothing from her, and she has all that information for me. So I would like for all of you, and I appreciate your patience with me. I know I'm a bit of an energetic person, being nice, I guess, but I guess expression says it all. But I don't apologize for being so passionate about my community, my house, and my parish. This is my parish. I love this place. I moved here years ago, and I'm never moving away. I love this place, and I don't want it to see it just treated like this, where people come in with an application and just put willy-nilly anything they want because they think they're just going to pass it through. I appreciate all of you.
Any
Thank
questions
you.
for Mr. Barber? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Barber.
Thank you.
All right, next we have Ms. Amy Broussard Petrie. Agenda item, Public Works, item number 2, against. Ms. Petrie? Please state your name and address for the record, ma'am.
Amy Petrie, 1504 Jefferson Terrace. Like you said, I'm against. I know AT&T mentioned something about they wanted to put the tower there in that location because of the school and whenever they have functions in Walmart and all that kind of stuff. We actually tested it, a couple of us. We put up our cell phones. We checked what was going out and coming back, and it was actually better whenever they had a big baseball game last week. So just to let you know, we did our homework on that, and that was not correct. So it was like 6:30 last week. They had a huge baseball game. Bora played against Senior High, and like I said, it was opposite of what they said. So I'm against.
All right, no questions for Ms. Petrie? Thank you, Ms. Petrie. Next we have Mr. Mitchell Broussard, Public Works, item number 2, against. Mr. Broussard, please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Mitchell Broussard, 7703 Sugar Hill Road, New Iberia. That's where I live, but we're the majority property owners in that area. Once again, the sign wasn't put up, and everything else they said was true. I also have property on there, and I was 2A on the list. Nobody ever contacted me to put the tower on my property. But the farm is right there, and we're trying to get that off, not put right there. It's not a good site for it. So the ordinance wasn't even followed, so that's another thing for me. The speed test, I did the speed test. It was 145 megabytes per second, which is better than the landline I have at work. So it's pretty fast where I did it at. on the farm. So I'm not sure if the cows need more internet or not, but that's all I have.
Any questions for Mr. Broussard? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Broussard. Next, we have Ms. Lisa McGee, Public Works, item number 2, against. Ms. McGee? Please state your name and address for the record, ma'am.
I'm Lisa McGee. I live at 105 West Lawrence in New Iberia. I own, with a family member, the majority of the farm that Mr. Broussard was speaking about. We have, my family member and I, have 162 acres that abuts this property on 2 of the 3 sides. Mr. Barber is on the 3rd side. It has been a continuous family farm for over 125 years. Eventually, I understand that we will end up subdividing at some point. AT&T says our property values will not go down. Do any of y'all want this tower on property that you could sell one day? I don't think so. I have never been notified about anything. The other person's name is first on our tax list, but the address is mine. Anything would have come to me. Never have been notified about anything. I'm against it. Thank y'all.
All right, any questions for Ms. McGee? Seeing none, thank you, Ms. McGee. Next, we have Mr. Marcus Boudreau for Joint Committee, item number 3, against. Mr. Boudreau? Please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Yes, I'm Marcus Boudreau, 15 on Elm Street, New Iberia, Louisiana, 70560. And the property that's in question is, to my knowledge, was a right-of-way, an easement, whatever you want to call it, was donated to the parish. And through my knowledge, from what I understand, well, somebody's been upkeeping it because the parish felt they got permission to it. A structure was built on it. Whether it was a permit issue or not, I don't know about that. That's hearsay. And so at what point, the parish and the city has easements, they have right-of-ways. So what point does the city or the parish, well, okay, well, if I want this piece of property, I can do whatever I want and build a building. If I own property, I need a permit to build a building. I need a permit to build a building. Was that property donated to the parish or the city for future use? You sign this property over to a certain person, whoever it is. If they decide to sell it in 3 months from now, who's gonna get the benefits? That's all I'm asking. Like I said, maybe I'm stepping where I shouldn't be, but I'm asking a question. Whenever you put in, when you own something, you should be able to do whatever you want, but you need permits to do this. Anybody?
All right. Any questions for Mr. Boudreau?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Boudreau. Next, we have Mr. Brent Delahousie. Item number 3, Joint Committee is for. Mr. Delahousie? Please state your name and address for the record, Mr. Delahousie.
Brent Delahousie, 312 Interlude Road, New Iberia, Louisiana, 70563. Just to answer the question that was just asked or just stated, there was no structure ever built on the easement. It's a shed that's movable. I can move it. I can put it on my trailer and move it. Actually, I've moved it 3 or 4 times already. I was given permission by Mr. Billy Hewlett probably 20 years ago. And again, I mean, if you look at the pictures that you guys have that I supplied, It's the little shed sitting behind the boat. It's sitting on blocks, and there was no permit that was ever required to put that shed there. I mean, it's a $600 shed. So, but I am representing Willowwood subdivision, and if I could read this to you guys, y'all all have a copy as well. Referencing rezoning request that we made. In regards to the above, we undersigned request that is rezoning be approved. The reason for the approval of requests are as follows. We were made aware that the current owners, Ricky and Roxanne Watkins, were planning on trying to develop the property behind Interlude, which is known as Willowwood subdivision. This would be the second time this happened since they acquired the property from the previous owner, Mr. Ross Smith. First time they tried to develop this property, it was for a modular home park that was denied by the council. This was approximately 15 years ago. The neighborhood passed a petition, got everyone to sign it because there had been drainage problems that Willowwood has been having for a very long time. With the added housing for a newly developed neighborhood, this would increase the water drainage throughout Willowwood subdivision. All the water from the subdivision drains into T-Bayou, and it simply just cannot handle any more runoff. We have had rain on Monday, the 24th, and T-Bayou was at a full capacity and could not handle any more water. When it gets to that point, our houses start to flood in the neighborhood. And I don't have it listed on here, but I did walk the neighborhood and I got the petition signed by 97% of everyone that lives in Interlude. And there's a total of 12 houses that have flooded in the last year and a half, 2 years in that neighborhood. The most recent one was my house. It just flooded on Monday. I got not exactly sure how much. I actually had a guy come out to my house today and he did a quote for me, and it's going to be $7,600 to repair the floors in my house and also the shoe moldings in the bottom part of the walls. I don't have any flood zone. We're flood insurance. We're not in the flood zone in that neighborhood. So I mean, this is $7,600 I'm having to come out of my pocket for to repair this. You know, and the reason being is because the water runoff coming off of that neighborhood, it goes, like I said, to T-Bayou, but we're not having any luck. I mean, it's not taking in the water and carrying it off fast enough. It drains into the lake, and the lake is idle. I mean, there's nowhere for it to go once it reaches there. So until it just starts, receding, we just have to deal with what we have to deal with. So we're looking for some help to try to get that resolved. And the second part of the issue that we're having in the neighborhood is going to be increased influx of traffic that will be coming down Interlude Road and Willowwood from any new development. This is why we are asking that the rezoning requests be approved and the ROs be abandoned. In the early 80s, when the subdivision was developed with the intention to expand, but throughout the years, the expansion never happened. Mr. Ross Smith tried to develop the property 25 years ago and was denied by you guys in the council. Ricky and Roxanne Watkins again was denied as well by the council 15 years ago because of water runoff that had been causing flooding to the houses in the subdivision, and also due to an entrance that they have coming from Lowerville Road. And it's actually called Rodeo Lane. It's there right away. We've had several incidences where the council said that right-of-way was not big enough to accommodate the emergency vehicles when they come in and out. Well, there was an incident that the emergency vehicles, they actually were called because one of the residents on Interlude threw a cigarette butt into the back field and caught it on fire. I was there, I witnessed it. The fire trucks came in through Lowerville Road. They entered onto Rodeo Lane. It was a total of 3 fire trucks. And they all entered through Rodeo Lane. They circled and they left through Rodeo Lane. It had nothing to do with Interlude Road. So we're asking for, for the denial of any kind of entrance through Interlude that would create more traffic. So, again, I turned in the list of everybody that signed the sheet. There was not everybody that actually, it was 3 houses that wasn't there to sign. 2 people actually refused to sign because they just didn't want to get involved. They thought there would be litigation or whatever. So Willowwood feels the same way, and there's probably double the amount of people in Willowwood that just doesn't want to see any kind of, you know, any kind of activity that goes on behind the neighborhood. I mean, it's zoned for AG, horses, cows, whatever. We'd like to keep it that way. You know, a new development would just kill us. Like I said, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to change my floors in my house because of the rain we had Monday, and that wasn't a severe rain. It was only about a 3.5, 4-hour rain. So we're asking for you guys' consideration on this. Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Delahousie? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Delahousie.
All right.
Next, we have Ms. Roxanne Watkins, item number 3, Public Works against. Ms. Watkins, please state your name and address for the record.
Roxanne Watkins, 1710 Shortweek Street. I'd like to hand out something to the council. First of all, I'd like to make the public aware that in the Daily Iberian Saturday, March the 22nd, 2025, there was a public notice that the council or the government paid $621 to have this notification put in about this item that was going to be on the agenda. So the purpose of the subdivision regulations, the property that we have, we do plan on developing it in the future. There has not been any type of additional studies. There are 2 stub outs or actually named street extensions. The extension that Mr. Delahousie is talking about is called Semino Road, Semino Street. There is on this plat here, according to this survey back in 1982, it was left there as a 60-foot right-of-way. We have 30 foot at the street of Laurelville Road, but the extension that we're talking about today is 60 foot. The purpose of the right-of-way is for us to be able to have access to the middle portion of the 13 acres, and there's a second 1-seater lane further down, that same thing. We do not want to abandon it because of the reason that for future development, we will actually need the 60 foot. 30 foot at the front is not enough for 2 vehicles to go through at the same time. 60 foot is. And by abandoning this particular extension, you're landlocking us pretty much. Landlocking for 2 vehicles to be able to pass right away, together at the same time. With that being said, the purpose of the regulations and the application that Mr. Delahousie filled out, I'd like to know whether or not it was actually followed. Is there a current survey done? Because the requirement for this application is that they should have a survey performed. Because at that point, we don't know whether or not there's 60 foot, whether the fence is on the 60 foot. He's already discussed the shed that he has on there, but there's also a fence there. Also with that, there's a list of requirements, and I want to make sure those requirements were met before, because if these requirements were met, were not met, we should not even be here tonight. When we left the planning and zoning meeting last week, we walked out and they had denied it. We walked out and I had to find out on the street the next day that they were going to have this meeting here today, because there was a couple of people, including Mr. Delahousie, that stayed after the meeting was already closed. They stayed and they continued for another hour and a half communicating about this information here. I was not even aware about it, told about it. With that being said, Seminole Street is actually a cross street, so that's why that's another reason why it shouldn't be abandoned. It's actually a street, an extension for further development. And part of the further development is for what's best for the community. There are no fire hydrants down Interlude, and there's no fire hydrants down Candle Glow. In the future, should we develop it, I'm sure that's going to play a part as far as for getting fire hydrants there, which would actually benefit the public, benefit them as well. There would probably also be studies on drainage, which eventually that would probably benefit them as well, because I guarantee you, everybody's talking about the drainage issues. A lot of their water's probably draining on us. If a lot of their water's probably draining on us. I do not believe that it should be abandoned. I think it should stay open, just like with the requirements that y'all have noted here. If you look here, with the article, the procedures for the abandonment, easements, and right-of-way for the purpose and what is required, I don't believe that it was actually done. If y'all can show me a current survey and make sure that this was followed, because tomorrow I can go and file an application, and once I file the application for the same thing that he's filed for, I want to know who y'all going to decide who's y'all going to sell it to. Who needs it more? Because I can go tomorrow and I can file an application to do the same thing he's doing right now. We do not need to be landlocked. Any questions for me?
Any questions for Ms. Watkins? Seeing none, no Ms. Watkins? Thank you.
Okay. And if we shouldn't be here today, then there was a waste of $621 on the newspaper article.
All right, Madam Clerk, we have public comments number 2, Madam Clerk.
Comments from the general public on non-agenda items.
A, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Roger Duncan to address the council regarding permit, planning, and zoning.
All right, we got a call from Mr. Duncan. He's unable to make it tonight, so we won't have to worry about that. Next, we'll go on to the minutes. We have the regular joint committee meeting of March 12th, 2025. I need a motion. I have a motion by Mr. Michael Landry, a second by Mr. Marcus Broussard. Any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, please vote your machines to accept the minutes. Mr. Brown?
1 second.
And
All right.
that motion carries. Next, we'll go on to executive committee. I'll turn it over to. Ma'am? No, sure didn't, ma'am. Need a motion to close public comments. Have a motion by Cameron Capel, second by Marcus Broussard. Please vote your machines. All right. That motion carries. We in executive committee. Mr. Michael Landry.
Okay, the executive meeting is now called to order. Time is 7:49. Item number 1, Madam Clerk.
Discuss and consider an ordinance establishing a local industrial tax exemption committee comprised of one voting member representative from each of the following local governmental entities. Number 1, parish or police jury. Number 2, school board. Number 3, sheriff. Number 4, mayor and ex officio. Non-voting members may include number 1, assessor. Number 2, parish highest ranking economic developmental staff. And number 3, representatives of local economic development organization.
I need a motion. We have a motion by James Trahard, a second by Natalie Broussard. James?
I'll wait.
Natalie?
Ian, I'm sure you have something to say.
Sure. All right, so there's been some changes with the industrial tax exemption program since Governor Landry took office. He started with an executive order, basically trying to streamline the process of local input. You guys have seen some of the back and forth that goes on with us sending our request or non-request for certain actions. This is concerning initial applications. So it would be an ad hoc local industrial tax exemption committee. And on the board you see the voting members, and it also mentions some of the non-voting members. However, we're not going to be establishing this by ordinance. It's actually established by state rulemaking. So the procedural action I would recommend would be appointing a representative. There's some rules within the state regulations about how that board's supposed to operate, but the short version is we're trying to get the timeline down to 45 days from when it's submitted to the locals and the state gets a response back about the local position, and then it will be still at the discretion of the governor and the Louisiana Economic Development Department at that point. So this is going to be a little bit from how we've been doing it, but hopefully it's going to streamline the process. I have some substitute language.
All right,
If y'all have any questions, I'll do my best.
just put the language.
I guess what you're saying is we would just be saying who from the parish council would be our representative on
Who from
the-
Iberia Parish Government. So the initial executive order specified that it would be the parish president, the school board, and the sheriff. The rulemaking, though, which has occurred after that, says local governmental entities, parish, or a representative from the parish or police jury.
I would just make a suggestion that it would be the chairman of the finance committee. That way, he would be bringing, he or she, whoever it is, every year would be bringing that information back to the council, who's the one who has to vote on it ultimately. And so it would be a constant. It wouldn't be like designating somebody every year. It would be the chairman of the.
You don't have to designate it every year. You just have to report it every year. Just to clarify that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
You good, Natalie?
Yes, I'm good.
Brock?
Yeah, and you just said something about the parish president. It says parish or police jury. So is it saying that we're gonna pick someone from the parish council, or it's gonna be someone from the administration?
No, you pick as the parish council with the approval of the parish president. It's like a regular vote.
Okay.
So eight votes,
Put it where-
no veto. And then you guys select who you want to represent Iberia Parish Government at the local ITEP committee.
You good? Marcus?
It's kind of a big change,
Yes.
right? Can we move this along and then appoint or vote on who the representative would be at the next, at the next meeting, full meeting?
We can do that today.
Because I wasn't prepared
You
to
will.
either discuss or select somebody I'm sure you guys are in the same boat I am.
Yeah, so we do have a May 5th deadline, so we have 3 meetings before that deadline, plus the time it takes to send stuff in, so we could move it forward. I could still offer, you know, a substitute motion, so we won't be going through the ordinance process. All right? This is what I would propose, and y'all can decide whether it's appropriate. A resolution appointing the representative to the local ITEP committee on behalf of Iberia Parish government and authorizing that representative to sign and execute and administer any and all relevant documents in connection with the ITEP committee.
You good?
I can yield my time if Ms. Natalie wants to speak.
I got somebody. Brock?
I make a motion to accept Ian's verbiage on the resolution.
So a substitute motion to. Okay, you good? Natalie?
I'll second that.
Second that. Any other discussion? Any other, so we're voting on the substitute motion.
You want to read that one more time?
All right.
I got it.
I don't have it written down like that twice. I would refer to the audio recording rather than me say 2 different things
Right.
and confuse anybody.
Thank you.
So, everybody, I hope, heard it and
Yeah.
remembered it.
Or you can listen.
So, we have a motion and a second, so vote your machines. That motion, well, James is in, what you call him?
Okay.
So that motion passes.
Thank you.
Made motion.
Go back to that.
He voted, they didn't have James in the right seat. Yeah, so we're gonna have to move James.
Okay.
In Brian Napier's seat. We good? All right, can we vote one more time, just for the record?
Y'all doing this all the way wrong.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I think y'all need to read what's up here. So are we talking about, Ian, just the portion from the parish?
No, we're so, okay.
Or are you talking about the whole
This-
resolution, and that talks about the assessor, it talks about the economic, what are we?
We're
what are we saying?
substituting, I said, I recommended a substitute motion because we're not establishing a board, we're not using an ordinance, we're gonna, through a resolution, choose a representative of Iberia Parish government to as our representative for the local industrial tax exemption committee. So this is, what's on the screen is not correct, and we're gonna fix it before. That was the purpose of the amending it tonight, is so that it'll be in a disposition for us to do it next meeting.
When it come with, in other words, we're gonna vote on it again. You just gonna submit it to them.
Correct.
Let it move forward, then we do something with it.
You wanna,
Okay.
we're gonna post the vote one more
Yeah.
time. So that motion passes.
That's the amendment.
Still showing.
It's still showing.
Who?
Where's James?
James is in Brian's seat, right, or Warren's seat? In Brian's seat.
And it's there.
Is- So,
He's in,
Brian's seat.
that's right. Because he's on the side of.
So it didn't
He's in
pick up
between.
Tommy's?
He should be right here. James should be right here.
We're working on it, cuz. We're gonna vote
Okay.
one more time. Third time is the charm.
Third time and we'll vote like we used to vote.
Mr. Brown.
Lloyd Brown,
Okay.
everybody is good. Brian, it won't change. It won't change.
Hold on a
Still
second.
got you, James, with his show. Wait a minute. Nobody can fill that seat, man.
Okay.
You know how you say I used to walk.
Okay, let's try again.
One more time.
See where James is. All right, it's there now.
Okay,
Okay.
show it. That motion passed. No?
Yeah, we can do a voice vote.
Wait, do it.
If we can do voice vote.
Voice doesn't, it never fails. Let's do the voice.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to do a voice vote.
Yeah, we can.
I'm all in favor signify by saying
Aye.
aye. All opposed. The ayes have it.
Let's start the vote.
That was for the amendment.
That's for the amendment.
Yeah, can we vote on the main motion?
We gotta vote.
By
All right.
by voice.
We
She gotta
gonna,
call the name.
Main motion as amended.
we're gonna vote for the main motion with the amendment.
She gotta call the name.
So, any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The executive committee is now
I now call the Finance Committee meeting to order. It is March 26, 2025. Time is 8:03 p.m. Item number 1, Madam Clerk.
Discuss and consider a resolution authorizing travel expenses for members of the Iberia Parish Council to attend the 2025 Police Jury Association Legislative Day on May 6th and 7th, 2025, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at a total cost to the parish of $125 registration fee per attendee.
I need a motion. I have a motion by Mr. Marcus Broussard. I need a second. I have a second by Ms. Natalie Broussard. Mr. Broussard, you have the floor.
Yeah, I guess we get a head count. Who wants to go and I guess get an idea what's in the budget.
I need to get through
Yeah.
the second
What's
first,
in the
and then
budget?
we'll get there.
Easy. Thank you, I'm good.
Oh, wait, Ms. Broussard, you disappeared. You don't want to speak? You would-
You ready to vote?
I'm still on.
No, you had the second, did you? Well, we gotta get through the second
Second.
before he makes his motion. Yes?
Second. Who's second? She second. Okay.
But what I'm asking, do you have any comments as the second before we make the motion? Okay, wave. Now, make your motion, please, sir.
I just have a hand up. Well, we gotta understand what's left in the budget, which last I remember was a couple of thousand.
We gotta
But
see how
confirm
many
that, and then
go.
who else wants to go, that's right. Who would, by show of hands, who wants to go?
Not counting Mr. Napier, Mr. Gosh, and Ms. Brown, who may want to go. So that would be 3 more we have to consider. But show of hands. 1.
How about any of the clerks? They might want to.
You, can I move over a second?
Yeah, I'm
Ms. Peller.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I would like to go, but I'd pay my own registration.
Oh, that's,
Good enough?
that's no problem.
So now I have 0. We may have 3, though. Ms. Broussard, you have the floor.
I move to delete.
Any,
Nobody wants to go.
Any second on that?
Second.
Madam Clerk?
This is just authorizing the travel.
Right. We just all.
Did you hear that?
Expenses.
If we delete this item, do you need the resolution to funnel the money through you?
If we delete the item, if, council members are going to be reimbursed?
Mr. Pellerin was gonna pay his own way, and
Okay.
normally we have to go through, cause you have to turn it in, if I remember right.
Just give it to her.
Can we defer to legal today?
I wasn't in the room. So,
So if we
what's your
delete-
issue?
Do we need this resolution for a council member to pay their own way? I don't think so.
I don't think
This
so.
is just authorizing the travel expenses. Like,
Yeah, but that's.
Why would you need it for them to pay their own way?
That's government.
that's their question.
That's there.
We just wanna make sure in the past,
Well, are you trying to get reimbursed?
no.
No. Okay. And nobody else here is trying to, draw on funds to be able to attend?
No.
No.
Okay, I don't see the issue.
All right. I
If
have a
it,
motion to
if
delete.
I'm wrong, I'll try and fix it later.
I have a motion to delete by Ms. Broussard, a second by Mr.
How
Swear.
does he pay? Does he pay
Any further comments?
himself or you give it to them?
We're gonna vote. Oh,
How does he pay? Does he pay himself or he has to go
you're
to?
still gonna have to go through the clerk.
That's what I'm talking
Right.
about. That's how I got to get paid.
That's, that's,
I can register you, or would you? Okay.
No.
that's how we've done it in the
It
past.
gotta
Yeah.
come from the parish. You can
All
give
right.
it to her.
I have the motion to delete by Ms. Broussard, the second by Mr. Swear, and I see no further comments. Please vote your machines on deletion of item number 1. Everybody? Warren, Lady Fontaine Brown. We good? Well, Napier's not on the, list. He got deleted.
Okay.
He got deleted with the motion. Item 2, Madam Clerk.
I gotta see my chart. I'm gonna put it back.
Discuss and consider a resolution for the 2025 Airport Authority Fund Budget Line Item adjustments for the following. Number one, $50,000 from buildings, equipment to professional services, administration with Capitol Hill Consulting. And number two, $30,000 from buildings, equipment to equipment maintenance department for the purchase of a John Deere zero-turn mower for the maintenance department.
I have a motion by Mr. Trahan, a second by Mr. Broussard. Mr. Trahan, you have the floor.
Yeah, I had a question for Mo.
Name and title, please.
Mo Sanji, Executive Director, Iberia Parish Airport Authority.
Thank you, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Song?
Good, how
I had a
y'all?
question about the professional services.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
elaborate on what that's for?
That is to pay our federal lobbyists. We have a federal lobbying firm. We've had one in the past. We didn't have one last year. But we have three pressing, I'll say pressing issues, federal issues we're working right now. One, we actually have a $12.6 million congressional earmark that was actually supposed to be this year, but with continuing resolution through Congress, they actually passed over it, and it's getting reinserted for 2026. We also have, in the past, we've always talked about this noise waiver issue, where we would get approval from Congress to allow loud aircraft that aren't allowed in the United States to actually come into Acadiana Regional. There's only it's only done in one place in the country. It's Miami, and it's done on a case by case basis. So anytime they want to fly in the United States, they have to go through Miami, and it's that one time only. This would allow them to come into New Iberia at any time. The third thing is we've been trying to get customs located at the airport to kind of hope that would increase our international traffic. But that's the pressing issues we have, and there's usually other things coming up when that affect airports. But this is for federal lobbyists. The lobbyists, Capitol Hill Consulting Group. The gentleman that works for us, he's actually a 3-term congressman from Florida. He knows the business. He knows the ins and outs. Kind of knows where all the skeletons are buried. And he did some pro bono work for us last year, and he's worked out really well.
All right, Mr. Songa, thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions?
You good, Mr. Strong? Mr. Broussard, you have the floor. Wave. Hold on, Mr. Matron is coming. Mr. Matron, you have the floor.
Mo, the lawnmower zero turn $30,000. What kind of machine is that?
It's actually 20. I think 26.4 is the price. It's a 24 horsepower zero diesel engine. John Deere. That's like I said. We actually just bought. We bought one last year also, but it's a commercial grade mower.
Like a 104-inch cut or something like that? With a seat?
It's a 60-inch cut, but the last one was a 72-inch cut. It's under state contract. Yeah,
I was going to say, I hope we buying through state contract.
It is. That's under state contract. But yeah, look. I mean, the one we would actually surplus in one. I think it's got 8,000 hours on it, so it's they last. It's a proven machine.
I'm in the wrong business, and I'm in your business. Okay.
Well, I think
Yeah.
I think somebody had a donkey or something like that. It shows up at the house. I'm willing to take that on. You can see.
It seems like we buy a lawnmower or a tractor every year. I was just curious what y'all doing with it.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing of it is, I mean, I have 3 maintenance guys, but they only had 2 zero turns. So I mean, somebody wasn't doing something they should have been.
All right. Seeing no further comments, we're gonna vote on item number 2 as is. Please vote your machines.
They're gonna bomb anyway.
That's everybody. That motion passes unanimously. Item number 3,
Thank you.
Madam Clerk.
Discuss and consider a resolution amending the 2025 Economic Development District Number 1 Fund Budget and Sewer District Number 1 Fund Budget in the amount of $300,000 to appropriate funding for UL lift station with operating transfer between funds, all to be funded from fund balance previous years of EDD.
I got a motion by Mr. Tron, a second by Mr. Broussard. Mr. Tron, you have the floor.
Yeah, I call Mr. Crater. Please maybe explain to us about this.
Name and title, please, sir.
Good evening, Brad Crater, Executive Director, Sewer District Number 1 and Waterworks District Number 3.
Thank you, sir.
So the reason for this funding, I'll try to be somewhat concise but informative. Years back, about 3 years ago, the council graciously allocated $469,300 for funding to build a new lift station that we need at the UL, around the UL facilities at the airbase. And with this station, what we're trying to do, we currently have a lift station on UL's facilities where we actually have to enter UL's facilities to access the station that services all the sewer around that area. What we're trying to do with this lift station is, number one, alleviate a lot of problems that we have with unidentified and non-mapped lines we have in the area for sewer that leads to that station. We have clogs, we have collapses, and we have integrity issues in that station. So with this money that we had originally, we're moving that lift station from where it is onto Hangar Drive, and we're basically, for lack of a better term, subdividing the sewer system for gravity on the south, gravity sewer lines on the south that will go back to UL, and have a different set of gravity lines that will be within the right-of-way that we can access at any time we need. We had the funding. We started negotiations with UL. Well, as government works, time goes by. We ran into some roadblocks with UL on some of the agreements that I wanted to see before we begin bidding the project. I did not want to have any of the problems that were happening currently to continue to happen if I was going to invest $500,000 into a brand new lift station. Well, for about a year and a half, it was radio silence. I believe there was some problems with funding for the
facilities UL was going to be seen coming down the pipeline. When we finally came back to the drawing board, starting to come up with a overall idea of what we needed to do and where it was going to be placed and what UL needed to provide to the sewer district and the parish. It took about 3 or 4 months, came up to the agreement. We received a memorandum of understanding from UL, went out to bid, $300,000 over budget. So this is the reason for the additional $300,000 that we're requesting.
Good, Mr. John.
Thank you, Mr. Brady.
Mr. Broussard.
Yeah, Mr. Brad, thank you, Chair. Does this, besides, you know, that UL facility that we're referring to, what else does this do to help the rest of the airport with sewage treatment? Because I know there's some other sore spots. Can you kind of?
Sure. Yes, sir. So, as I mentioned earlier, this basically allows us to, and I hate using the word, but subdivide or separate the sewer systems we have at the airbase. As everybody is aware, I mean, we have a lot of development coming on into that area. So what this allows is for us to give the current infrastructure that we have on UL's property and let that become UL's infrastructure, right? So that it all ties in their own system together. It alleviates all the burden for the other providers that we have currently, but also we're increasing the size of the gravity line on Hangar Drive and the size of the pumps in the station so that we're going to accommodate the new biolab coming to the area. But we can also accommodate all future development on the north side of Hangar Drive at the airbase.
If you said it earlier, I missed it, but that's what I was hoping you would say. They would do more than just suffice for what we have now to increase capacity for the other stuff.
Yes, sir. I don't believe I said that, but that is accurate. Yes, sir.
Cool.
Good, Mr. Broussard.
I'm good, yes, sir.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Mr. Crater.
Thank you.
Seeing none, we're going to vote on item number 3. Please vote your machines as is. That motion passes unanimously. Item number 4, Madam Clerk.
Discuss and consider a resolution amending the 2025 general fund budget in the amount of $6,309.63 to provide adjustments to the parish president's annual salary for fiscal year 2025 from $179,242 to $185,551.63 and related benefits as based on the averaging of annual salaries of Iberia Parish Sheriff, $213,933.85, Iberia Parish Assessor, $158,612.49, and Iberia Parish Clerk of Court, $184,108.56, all in accordance with Iberia Parish Home Rule Charter and to be funded from fund balance previous year's line item.
I have a motion by Mr. Pellerin, a second by Mr. Landry. Mr. Pellerin, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is one of those things that we can't vote against pretty much because it's in a charter. I just have a problem with this. I mean, you look at these, 3 of these salaries, we can't control them. It comes from state legislators. That's the sheriff, the assessor, and the clerk of court. And you throw the parish president's salary in there, we almost had $750,000 for 4 salaries in a parish of 70,000 people with an average median household income of $60,000. You cannot make that make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense. I hope there's a time in the near future that we can come to agreements and put something to the voters and make some changes to the home rule charter with this. I just, you can't make it make sense to me that these salaries are equivalent to what we have in the parish. You know, like I said before, this is something we can't control with the other three salaries,
Exactly.
but we can do something with the way we work with the parish president on future administrations. We can't do nothing now, but we can go in there and make some changes for future administrations. That's all I got, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Mr. Landry?
I waive.
Yeah. Let's go.
Any further discussion?
No.
Seeing none, please vote your machines on item 4 as
Nothing
is.
you can do with that. Nothing you can do with it.
Mr. Pollard, Mr. Broussard, wait, where Mr. Broussard went?
He's out.
Please note, Mr. Broussard stepped out and is not voting.
What about Frank?
Mr. Kamen, Crepel. That's it. That motion passes unanimously.
Yeah.
Item number 5, Madam Clerk.
Discuss and consider a resolution amending the general fund budget to create a line item of $100,000 for nuisance abatement, all to be funded from fund balance previous years.
I have a motion by Mr. Trahan.
Good.
I have a second by Mr. Crepel. Mr. Trahan, you have the floor.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, I think we need this. I think all of us have something that in our districts that's an eyesore, needs to come down. I know I have a big one in my district, that's for years been trying to get this thing down before I even got in here. And we were very close, a couple of years ago, but then we had to change some verbiage and change some ordinances around, and the ball got dropped on it. So I'm in support of this.
I got a
Thank you. I
comment.
yield
but
back.
I'm gonna give Mr. Crepel.
I just want to second what Councilman Trahan said, and hopefully everyone supports this.
Thank you.
Mr. Landry.
I'm in agreement because, look, I got even grass in my district that somebody don't cut every year, and it's continuous, and we gotta jump through hoops for it, so.
Good enough.
Mr. Pollard.
Hey, so this money here is gonna be for contractors bidding, or this money is going for public work for?
Well, that's, I was about to make a comment. Back up to when this first came out, the discussion, I'll go. We talked about this $100,000 being just for grass cutting, just for nuisance, not for condemnations. So we gotta keep in mind we're doing that separate. And then I'd have to yield to the attorney, but you're probably gonna pay Public Works to go, or a contractor. You could probably do it either way, and then you'll be reimbursed at a later date, correct?
You have a chance of being reimbursed at a later date.
Well, yeah.
A lot of the worst properties are the ones that don't have clear
And
ownership or.
Somebody's not here in California or whatever.
Correct.
Yeah, but Public Works so busy, you know, District
You're
14.
gonna put a lien.
All right. Okay.
You good, Mr. Pollard?
Yes, sir, I'm good.
Mr. Pellerin?
Mr. Chairman, just to clear it up, did I hear this correct? This is not going to kind of what James is talking about, tearing down the houses and this is going to more of the cleanup and the grass cutting.
That's why it says nuisance abatement.
I'm just making it clear.
Yeah, I agree. Nuisance abatement, and then the condemnation needs to be a separate discussion.
It's gonna be a separate discussion.
Yes. We're gonna need more money is what I'm getting at.
I am correct when saying that, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
That's it?
Mr. Swear.
Yeah, so, so nuisance, I get condemnation and grass cutting, but still blighted property is still a nuisance issue, so how are we gonna have to draft another?
You already have a nuisance process where you send out the letter, certified.
Okay, so how do you determine, so this 100,000 is gonna be going to nuisance, but is it gonna be for grass cutting or for blighted property is grass or?
Nuisance abatement is nuisance. Grass, if you go read I can get you a copy if you need. I have it actually. Ms. Becky had sent it to me. And then condemnation is a totally different process where you have to bring people into this room.
Right, I get that, I just.
We do. Ordinance for abatement for tearing the house down. Each councilman.
They got
Maybe
money.
that
Still
could've
got
been put
money,
in.
yeah.
Maybe that could
They
be.
still got money. Everybody,
I'll have it
every
for next
council.
meeting.
That's fine.
Can we make sure we get that? I have the nuisance myself. All right. Any further comments? Seeing none, we're voting on the item number 5 as is. Please vote your machines. Mr. Broussard is not in attendance still, not a voting member. That motion passes unanimously. No, that would be a adjournment. Please vote your machines on adjournment of finance. Chad, Mr. Mathurin, you wanna? That's it. Finance is adjourned.
I now call the Public Works Committee to order. Time is 8:27. Item number 1, introduced by Zoning Commission. Madam Clerk.
Discuss and consider an ordinance approving a conditional use permit to allow for the construction and operation of a 159-foot self-supported new telecommunications tower and related equipment within a 50 by 50 area in an R2 mixed residential zoning district located at 4215 Hazard Road in District 5. All as reviewed with recommendation of denial by the Iberia Parish Regional Planning Commission.
All right, I have a motion by Councilman Pellerin. I need a second. I got a second by Councilman Pollard. Councilman Pellerin.
Yes, I'm gonna yield to Mr. Landry. Can you give us the reason for denial on this one and explain some more to us?
Yep, so the reason for denial was due to public opposition, incomplete public notification, and the tower being within the required setback of the height of the tower at 30 feet, or any structures being within that required setback. Like the gentleman mentioned earlier, there was a residential home, a mother-in-law suite, and a shed. They were requesting a variance to have the shed in the, what they thought were 2 sheds in the fall range. But
Thank you, Mr. Landry. Ian, I know we had a big discussion on this a couple of weeks back about, you know, denying these things, and we needed a sufficient reason to deny. Coming from the zoning, it seems like the few reasons they had were legit to me. Is that sufficient enough to satisfy?
So my recommendation would be to take a final, rather than deny this in committee, would be to go ahead and take it to full council, have the hearing, and have a final determination. So one of the things you're gonna want, and I'm not sure if you guys have that, is basically the complete record of the multiple planning and zoning meetings, because you've got constituents that may not have, like you've heard tonight, constituents that may have gone to that meeting that didn't make it to this one. We've had the issue with the signs not being posted. We could contact AT&T and direct them to post the sign, and that would be for the next 4 weeks. And then take it up. But at the end of the day, you have to provide this, the standard is substantial evidence. And you have to provide a reason. And if you get opposition, public opposition alone is not enough, because you have to go back to the reason for the public opposition, right? And it's kind of like there's multiple factors. This one, the standard is going to be more tilted in your favor because they're requesting a variance. As written, our ordinance says, 30 foot plus the height of the tower for that particular, a structure can't be within that radius. And then you have the other issues that are cited. But at the end of the day, you guys need to be able to articulate the specific reasons, and we can still refer to the record to support those reasons. And that would involve some discussion with the different council people, and, like you provided a summary. I can't predict exactly what a court's going to do because they're all over the place. We have federal district courts that cite district courts from all over the country. And what they're going to do is they're going to look and see, I mean, part of it boils down to common sense. what's the real reason that this is getting denied? And there better be a record for that denial, because you don't have as much free reign as you do with most planning and zoning decisions, because of the prohibition on effective prohibition of the placement of these towers. So they have to show a gap in coverage. They've presented some evidence of that at the planning and zoning meetings. But our regulations can't be enforced in such a way that we're effectively prohibiting them from filling the gap in coverage.
My next question, nowhere's on here does it say anything about a variance for the structures located within the fall zone?
In the summary, I
Yeah.
think the variance is in the resolution. I mean, the ordinance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So the variance was denied. The commission denied it the first time. The commission denied it the second time. I would like to provide you guys with the audio and transcripts from those meetings prior to you making a final decision. I think that would give you some time, rather than hearing it right now. You'd have some time to think about what you want to do. But that's just my advice.
So you're recommending moving it forward as a denial?
No, moving it forward to full council for a final decision.
Okay,
Let's move it to.
Done, Councilman Pillar?
I'm done. Thank you.
Councilman Trahan?
Yes, I was just gonna pay for the record. I'm gonna be abstaining this vote because of my business joints with some AT&T's other divisions. So going for the record, I'll be abstaining my vote.
All right.
Thank you.
Seeing no other conversation. Oh, hold on. Councilman Matran?
Wouldn't having a structure in the fall zone be enough reason to deny it? In the ordinance, it states homes or structures in
So
the fall zone.
the argument against that would be that these towers are engineered in such a way that they're not gonna fall over like a board. I mean, no, but if you're gonna use that as a reason, you need to know what the counter argument is against it. So these are engineered for 225 mile per hour winds. They're engineered so that they do not fall in a straight line. So said that's
Yeah.
part of AT&T's presentation. That's part of their case. So all these things, you need time to think about these things.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, the Twin Towers weren't supposed to fail neither, but that's a whole nother discussion. But I get it. I'm with you.
All right. Councilman Ronson?
Another question for you. The rules we have to follow, who said that?
Which rules?
Not the ordinance, but there's certain, I'm thinking of the court case that the FCC did against I don't remember the county. And they denied it. And then, it's not AT&T, I don't know who it was, to be honest. And they went, and then the county lost, and I wanna say it was the FCC rules that they were not following. Do you know if our ordinance is based on FCC or the Telecommunications Act?
So the FCC, when it mostly comes into play on this, is they have regulations about radio frequency. So they have safe thresholds for basically radio frequencies. And if we can't deny someone as long as they're meeting those on that issue, right? So that issue gets taken off the table as long as they're meeting the current FCC regulations for radio frequencies.
So if, let's say we would get sued, I'm just gonna say it, AT&T. What would they be able to sue us for? Our ordinance?
Well, they would be able to say that we either incorrectly applied our ordinance or discriminated against them in applying our ordinance, and they would probably seek to have a court order us to grant a conditional use permit.
I was just trying to see if it was fixed or not, but that's it. Thank you.
Good. Councilwoman Broussard?
Yeah, I'm just going to, state my opinion. I was at the planning and zoning meeting. AT&T was present, heard AT&T's presentation. I heard, the, comments from the public. We gave, we had a public hearing at the planning and zoning meeting where everybody could, say what they had to say. AT&T was very well aware of this meeting. This meeting was advertised as well. This is another public meeting. AT&T's not here to give us any evidence of their gap in coverage or anything of that. They mentioned at the planning and zoning meeting that they were trying to close a gap in coverage. It was requested that they provide evidence of that. They have not provided any evidence of that I have seen. I mean, we're having a public hearing tonight. I mean, we opened it for public comment. Everybody had their ability to come in and say. In this case, I think it's really easy. We've heard the information about the structure being a mother-in-law suite. It's a residential home. I don't think we are mandated to grant a variance. Our ordinance was not followed. AT&T did not post the signs that they were supposed to post. I don't understand why we're going to kick this down the road. Our planning and zoning committee denied it twice. It came to us. We sent it back to planning and zoning. Why are we going to carry it over to have another meeting? I'm ready to vote on it and see what we're going to do and go with our planning and zoning commission. That's what we appoint them for, and follow their recommendations and deny it.
I'll make the motion.
Oh wait.
Make the motion.
Councilman Swear?
Yeah, look, I'm with Natalie on this. I mean, you know, we've seen multiple cases of opposition and the evidence behind it. Like she mentioned, AT&T's not even here. So I think we need to do the right thing. And I believe the right thing is not kicking the can down the road and be done with it. Instead of, I understand you're worrying about a lawsuit, but it's about doing what's right. And I feel that kicking the can down the road is not right. So that's all I have to say.
All right. Then I'm gonna suggest that you guys at least discuss this to the point where you can provide the reasons that we're gonna be denying this if you do vote to deny it. Because that is one of the requirements for us being able to defend a lawsuit.
I think I just named three. We don't have any evidence of gap in coverage.
Okay.
We have evidence of it being within a structure that is actually a residence, and they didn't follow our ordinance.
So they submitted a packet and they presented that evidence to the commission that there's gap in coverage.
They spoke at the commission that there was gap in coverage, but they have not come over here and presented anything to the council up to gap in coverage.
Let's
You need me to
put a
repeat it?
mic on.
They said at the zoning commission that they were trying to address a gap in coverage, but I have not been presented with any evidence that they have provided to say there was an actual gap in coverage. They actually talked about they don't have drop calls, that they were trying to deal with something with speed, but I have not seen anything with evidence of any problems with speed or anything to substantiate what the representation said what the representative said at the commission meeting. So, I mean, I've expressed what I thought was the things that we were considering. If any other council members have anything else that they're considering as far as the denial, then I would encourage you to speak up. I waive.
Councilman Swear?
Yeah, so Ian, But so we all heard the reasons for why they want this denied, and we saw the evidence, but then you ask the question, we better have a reason. We've heard the reason, we've seen the reason, so I don't understand. I'm trying to understand where you're coming from in a way, I guess.
Sure, it's pretty simple. So basically, if you said, please summarize the reasons why you denied the application, if you assign that task to me, I want clear guidance. I would like you to tell me the reasons you denied the application, and you could even do it, because I'll be able to listen to the transcript, so I can go back and listen to what these reasons are. But at the end of the day, I'd like to be able to do that to be able to defend us. Does that make sense?
Councilman Brown?
So here, right now, you're not telling us you're denying it or what you see. In other words, you're telling you need more time to look at it to be able to come with something that's right. Is that?
No, okay, so my suggestion was that we pass this on to full council, have a hearing, advise AT&T that they have to put up the billboard. At that point, prior to the hearing, I would take all of the audio recordings and provide a transcript to all of the council members. Then we would have a record of every constituent that came up, every time that they came up, and you guys could review that all together. That was my suggestion.
Well, I'll go along with it. Okay.
Councilman Lander?
So Ian, you're saying move it to full council next week. We're not gonna wait 4 weeks down the line.
Whatever time.
We're gonna move it to next week.
No, it's an
next
ordinance.
meeting.
It's an ordinance, so you'd have to publish it, and then it's an ordinance, so you'd have to publish it next meeting, and then 2 weeks from that.
So, all right, I'm good with that. I'm good.
I would go a step further and request that the administration place a notice at the property with the time of the final meeting, and hopefully they'll be placing it on a 4x8 billboard, which is required by the statute.
Well, I'll agree with that.
No, I'm saying that billboard needs to say when the final meeting is. Everybody's coming to these meetings and saying they don't know, they didn't know that about the next one. The process is not simple if you're, a member of the public. Nobody reads the small print in the Daily Iberian to see if their property's about to get rezoned.
Need some magnifying glasses.
Councilman Rosny?
Well, don't take my vote personally, but I can tell you why I'm voting no. It's the people in the room voted us in this damn room. Y'all remember that when y'all vote. I'm voting for them. If AT&T gets mad at me, yeah, come get my phone, I don't care. But I'm voting for the people. That's why we put here. We put here to listen, just like we did with the library millage. That's another subject, but there's certain things, when it comes to the public, we have to listen to them, or get voted out, I guess. But that's why I'm voting the way I am. If it goes to full council, I'll vote again. But I can hope we can still have a good partnership going forward. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Councilwoman Broussard?
Ian, it's my understanding that the ordinance says that the applicant has to place a 4x8 sign on the property within 5 days of the application and keep the sign on the property until the application is either granted or denied. Is that correct?
That's in the application requirements.
So my question is, how can they remedy the violation of the ordinance by putting the sign now?
So the real question is that requirement going to be enough to protect us? If you're hanging your hat on, they didn't put up the 4x8 sign, will that protect us in court?
Well,
So
along with the safety issues that have come up, That along with the variance requirement that it's gonna be within the limitations of the structures. That with the no evidence of the gap in coverage, I mean, but just putting up the sign from this point does not remedy the violation of our ordinance. So I understand what you're saying. I want some clear, definitive, why are y'all voting against it for me to have to defend you in court if we get there. I understand that. My question to you is putting a sign now, how does that remedy the violation of our ordinance?
So it doesn't remedy the past violation. It would at least give everybody in the area the notice that they've been asking for. That's why I suggested putting the actual time of the final hearing on that.
But, I mean, if we deny the application, they can always reapply and follow the ordinance, correct?
So if we deny, they can't reapply for 2 years because it's a conditional use permit. So basically,
That's right.
we can't indefinitely delay either, because there's reasonable time delays, and those reasonable time delays are related to when notice was provided. So the longer this drags on, the more of that argument they have that we're unreasonably delaying. I think that we do have grounds to at least get to a final decision because they didn't put up the billboard. But this is not something that we can do for the next 6 months.
I don't think anybody's trying to do it for the next 6 months. I think we're advocating to get it put to rest tonight.
Yeah, I guess just to clarify, there's no reapplication.
Can I make a quick point? I think it was mentioned earlier. There is an email from the parish to AT&T saying that the parish would handle the signage, and that was not done.
Is that
Just
the signage or the public notices?
Well, in the email discussion, AT&T was questioning specifically the 4x8 sign, and then the next statement was from the parish saying that they would handle the signage. I'd have to look at the public notice or the signage. I'm not sure of that verbiage, but the question was in regards to the 4x8 signage.
My understanding from AT&T at the commission meeting was that they had an email saying we were going to handle the public notices, and I mean, my interpretation of that is the letters that went out, those notices, that does not take away their requirement that the ordinance specifically says the applicant has to put the 4x8 sign.
That is correct.
So I think it's differentiated there.
But AT&T, the question prior to the answer was, do we have to put up the 4x8 sign? And the parish responded, we would handle that.
Did it say we will handle that, or did it say we will handle the public notices, like AT&T said it said?
I would have to find a specific language.
Oh, wait.
Councilman Peller?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So on this notification stuff, being with that commission for a while, we put up a little blue sign that's saying this property is subject to rezoning or whatever. And I'm not speaking for anybody. Maybe that's what they were interpreting, that we were gonna put the little blue sign. But they also, on these towers, have to put a 4x8 sign that the applicant is responsible for. And I'm not getting in the middle of that, but I know we put up a little blue sign for any time we rezone or anything we do in zoning and planning. The 4x8 sign is a different story. So, Ian, you were recommending advising AT&T to put the 4x8 sign and give more public notice and all of that. I personally don't think that's gonna do any good. I think you'll have the same people in here opposing the tower, maybe even more people opposing the tower, and I think we're still gonna be at the same point as what we are now, having a room full of people opposing this tower for various reasons. So personally, I don't think that's the route we should go. If we're gonna kill it tonight. Let's not just keep killing, just kicking the can down the road. Matt, you got something else to say?
No, yeah, I have the email if you wanted me to read in regards to the sign or not. I mean, it's up to, all right.
All right. Seeing no other? Oh. Councilman Pollard?
Yeah, I would like for Mr. Matt to read what, they said about that sign. Engine.
All right. This is from AT&T, I think it is. I wanted to ask about the public notice sign requirement. I have been in touch with a few different companies in the area, and only one is able to create a 4x8 sign, but the price is exorbitant. Are you familiar with any other companies that are capable of creating the public signs and posting them in the situations such as these? The response from the parish was, let me get to that, I apologize. Also, this is from the parish, also we would be responsible for the public notice signs on the property. That's how the parish responded to that.
So the public notice sign to me is a little blue sign.
Was
All
that, Leah, blue sign was up?
Good, Councilman Pollard?
Well, I mean, they, you know, I'm hearing the general public saying that the sign was not put up, and now I'm hearing that they're saying they had a little green sign, so now I'm confused, you know.
So, Tommy, we put up a little sign, it's 14 inches by 18 inches maybe, that's saying that this site is proposed for ordinance change, whatever it's, whatever the verbiage of. That's the sign that the parish puts up on anything with planning and zoning when we have something going on. The other sign is a 4x8 sign saying this site is proposed for, you know, cell tower, yada, 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 give you all information on it. So it's two different signs we talking about right here. The parish put up the little sign, the 4x8 sign was never put up.
But what he just read saying that the parish was responsible for putting up the 4x8 sign. Public notice sign.
Public notice sign.
Right there one, not the 4x8, okay. All right, I'm good.
All right. Seeing no other conversation, we'll vote our machines on item number one. Oh.
We got a motion, did she have to make a motion to kill it?
Wait, hold on,
No.
hold on. I have a question.
Oh, hold on. Councilman Brown,
What are we voting for?
we're voting on item number one. As is.
Approve the conditional use or deny. A
Okay.
vote yes is approving the conditional use for AT&T. A vote no is denying the conditional use.
Well, I just want to say this. You saying that we need to have time to do, with this, so that you have some things you have to look at?
I wanted to give you guys a complete record of what's already happened so that you could have a better record
I'm waiting.
for when you make your decision. So you can make the decision right now, or you could wait for what I consider a better record to make the decision.
Okay, so, and if we wait, this will wait, but if this get killed tonight, it's finished?
It's finished as per going in front of the council.
Okay, just want to let y'all know. All right.
All right. Seeing no others, everyone vote on item number one as is.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh. Can I change my vote? Yeah, reconsider my vote.
Yeah, that's the, you're right, I sure did.
Got to revote? Okay.
Okay, let's revote.
I'm calling for a
I did,
revote because I'm in the wrong. Why?
Yeah, I did.
Wait, what you saying?
I'd have to check my Robert's Rules of Order.
He abstained.
Well, you could
These are
revote.
yes, everyone is no. He wants to change his. He wants to change his.
It's good, leave it where it's at, that's good. All right,
Right, mine. Right. So you see, it ain't gonna be enough, but
huh? Good? All right, item number 2, introduced by zoning commission. Madam Clerk?
Discuss and consider an ordinance approving a conditional use permit to allow for the construction and operation of a 184-foot self-permit to allow for the construction and operation of a self-supported new telecommunications tower and related equipment within a 74 by 74 area and an A1 agricultural zoning district located at 1902 A Jefferson Terrace Boulevard, which is located in District 6. All as reviewed with recommendation of denial by the Iberia Parish Planning Commission.
All right, I have a motion by Councilman Pellerin. I need a second. I got a second by Councilman Trojo. Councilman Pellerin?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One question in, the one before this, and it's gonna go the same with this one. If it is voted no, the buck stopped tonight, huh?
Correct. So also, and similar to the one before this, you guys need to state your reasons that are specific to this application. You've heard a lot of citizen comments tonight. I know that some of you have been at other meetings. There's a difference in that this one is not requesting a variance. The variance, they've reduced the height of the tower, so they're not requesting a variance with regard to structure. That's the difference.
I would like to hear from Mr. Landry and reasons on denial from the Zoning and Planning Commission.
Yep, so the denial on this one is public opposition, of course, incomplete public notification, and proximity to the public roadway being within the fall range of the tower.
Matt, on this one, is there anything in our ordinance stating roadway in a fall zone?
No.
I'm good.
All right, Councilman Trojo?
I just want to say what I said for the first one. I'll be abstaining my vote.
Okay. Seeing no others, we'll vote item number 2. Councilman Lander?
And do you think we have sufficient cause to deny this one? Just yes or no?
I can't actually tell you how to vote.
I'm good.
No, but I can reiterate that you heard from citizens against it. They provided some reasons that are particular to this tower that were not necessarily provided to the previous tower, and that you are allowed to consider those, and that you should at least discuss. Rather, I know a lot of the issues seem like they're exactly the same because we're going back to back AT&T Tower, but both of these you have to consider them individually.
All right, you done, Councilman Lander?
I'm good.
Councilwoman Broussard?
Yeah, I think in this case, we heard even more evidence about a lack of gap in coverage. You had some of these residents that actually did speed test when there were functions going on at the nearby school versus when there were functions not going on at the nearby school, and they actually found that the speed was greater when the function was going on than when the function was not going on. So with all of the stuff that we heard regarding the safety concerns, the proximity to the road, the gaps in coverage, Their lack of applying, being in compliance with our ordinance, that's why I think we should consider denying this conditional use permit.
All right, you done, Councilwoman Broussard?
I am.
All right, seeing no other, we'll vote on item number 2 as is. Ms. Ada? And that motion fails. And Mr. Lloyd Brown with a yea.
Next.
Item number 3, introduced by Zoning Commission. Madam Clerk?
Discuss and consider an ordinance authorizing the abandonment of an unconstructed road right-of-way for property belonging to Brent Delahousie located between 306 Interlude Road and 312 Interlude Road, District 11, all as reviewed with recommendation of denial by the Iberia Parish Regional Zoning Commission. Staff Report ZC 2025-0002.
All right, I got a motion by Councilman Pellerin. I need a second. Got a second by Councilwoman Broussard. Councilman Pellerin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Matt, once
Yep.
again, can I get reason for denial on this one?
So the denial on this was as to not restricting the future development of the surrounding property.
All right. And do you have any, thing in front of you that states, once the parish abandons this property, where does this property go to?
Sure, state law for road abandonments. So first up, once it's dedicated to the public, until you guys revoke it, it's dedicated to the public. So somebody can mow the grass on it for 150 years and it doesn't give them ownership. So you guys would have to decide, we're gonna revoke this road right away. In the event that you did, though, the property would revert to the adjacent landowners from the center of the road outward. So Mr. Delahousie and his neighbor would then gain ownership of that piece of property from their current property line to the center of the roadway. Does that answer your question?
So the way this was written, it kind of confused some people. You know, it says property belonging to Brent Delahousie. The property does not belong to Mr. Delahousie. The property was dedicated to the parish. It's a right-of-way for the parish. Mr. Delahousie does not own this property as we speak. I just wanted to clear that up.
All right, Councilwoman Broussard? You had the second.
Okay. Do I need to press it?
You can, yeah, to put your mic on.
Yeah, I was at the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on this as well, and I agree with the Commission's denial. You know, the whole point of this is for planning of our community and development in our future, and you can see those two tracks on the side. If this sub-out is abandoned, it's going to affect the ability of developing those two long, narrow strips of property. And I mean, this is exactly what planning is about, trying to make sure that we don't have property that's virtually useless because of poor planning. So I agree with their recommendation of denial.
All right, seeing no other. So before we vote, a vote yes is to authorize the abandonment of the right-of-way, and a vote no is to deny the abandonment. Councilman Matra?
What is the width of the property that they're looking to abandon?
60 feet.
Is it 60 feet? Cause I see on this paper we provided it was 45 point.
Yeah, come up to the mic.
I'll yield
No,
some time,
you
Tim.
can't.
I like the answer to it.
State your name and address.
Brent Delahousie, 312 Interlude Road. That's my property on outlined on the red. The property from my fence line to my neighbor's fence line, and we're talking about the backyard, it's right at 45.5 feet. So, and we measured off Seminole Street, the road actually joining onto the easement, and Seminole Street is, it went by ordinance, it's 60-something feet.
All right.
Because they're going to require ditches to be put on the side, and that means I have to give up, I think, 20 feet, 15, 20 feet of my yard.
Matt, what is required for a road, the width?
I don't recall right offhand, depending on if it's curb and got open ditches, it's gonna be a little bit different.
You don't have
No, 60
either
feet.
one, you don't have the width on either one of them?
Not offhand, but I'm pretty, 60 feet sounds reasonable for the open ditch. You know,
Yeah,
bear with me. But I
60
mean,
feet.
the right of way to Seminole Street, it projects across, so it'd be, I mean, that right of way.
I believe it's 20 foot.
Wait.
A road. I believe
Yeah, but you
standard
have-
is.
Yeah, what would be the width required to put a road in, is what I'm asking,
Well,
I
would-
guess.
That, again, that right of way that is next to the gentleman's property is the same width as Seminole Street, so that road could be projected across even though,
It is at the roadside, but in the back, that's
Which one, I guess I can't see it, which one is Seminole Street?
is that the one with
The yellow line running
across
through it?
Right.
Right.
I don't know what the original road right of way was on this subdivision. don't have that
I
in
mean,
front
if
of me.
it's 40-something feet and you required 60 feet, how are we gonna put a road through there to start off with? Is my question, I guess. Okay, I yield.
All right. Councilwoman Broussard?
Yeah, Ian, correct me if I'm wrong, the right-of-way is whatever the recorded plat shows was dedicated to the parish, regardless of where the fence lines are or anything else that's existing, it's whatever the survey shows, correct?
Correct. And let me retract my 60-foot comment because I did not review that plat prior to this. I was going off what is commonly our common road right away. So I just want to clear that up for you guys. I don't have the plat.
But it is whatever is on the plat.
Correct.
Done, Councilwoman?
I believe Ms. Watkins has a copy of the plat that says that it is 60 foot.
This is. I have a copy of it right here.
I think it's Chad that wants to see it. I think it's Chad who wants to see it.
Ms. Watkins, I think, has a copy of the plat, that should be a little bit clearer. Are they looking at it?
Were you able to see it on that one, or you want to see the
That one's not marked on that side, it's marked.
All right, you still have the floor, Councilwoman Broussard?
No, yeah,
Oh, you had
the
it.
question is about, it was mentioned about some of the flooding and stuff like that. It's serious flooding.
I'm sorry. This is one thing about that right away, but I've been living there 40 years. I spent about $6,000 for a pump.
All right, public comments was at the beginning. You still got the floor, Councilwoman Broussard.
I wave, I thought
Okay.
Mr. Martin.
Councilman Peller? No, it wasn't on here.
So, just to clear it up to everyone, Ms. Watkins had a recorded plat from the courthouse, and it does show 60 feet on that side of the, of Seminole Street. So the right-of-way that's dedicated to the parish is 60 feet, just to clear that up.
All right, you done,
I'm done.
Councilman Matra?
Okay, the question about the flooding is, and I mean, it might not be important to some of y'all, I guess, but y'all know what I'm dealing with on my end with a subdivision that was developed, and then we got issues after the fact, and it becomes civil when we created the problem. So that's why I'm asking. It was mentioned about flooding issues, and I guess I'd like to yield some time to this gentleman right here, because I'd like to hear what he has to say, because it matters. You know,
All right.
after the fact, it's too late.
Please state your name and address.
My name is Tim Jolett, and I live at 609 Interlude. I've been living over there for 42 years. And I saw all these houses built on the west side of Interlude, because I was there when they was building this subdivision. Well, that wasn't much. We had, you know, drainage issues, but it wasn't bad. Everybody didn't flood. The more houses you put over there, and you're closing up these ditches, and even with the open ditches, you got small culverts over there. Larry knows about this, and a lot of other guys. We have a serious drainage problem. It cost me $6,000 to keep my house from flooding. Now, I could have moved off, but I've been there a long time, and I didn't want to move. But I put a pump to get rid of the water from the back of my house, and also all the neighbors that live behind me, their water drains towards me, and I pump it off to the ditch. I got a pump that has a float on it. Also, the parish wanted to put 36-inch culverts, so I closed my ditch with 36-inch culverts. All down the Interlude on the east side is 36 all the way to Cedar. All the water comes from Willowwood. It comes from Orleans Place. When they put Orleans Place, the trailer park in there, the water started accumulating more. It goes right through that tennis court area, and it comes down from the northeast, and it goes to the southwest. Okay, and each ditch, when it carries over, it fills up each ditch, and then the water that goes over the street goes to the next ditch, which is on the west side of Interlude. Now, I heard the ladies speak that the water, we're probably putting water on her. It's not, I mean, you're looking at open pasture. There's no cement there. When you're gonna put modular homes or trailer parks or whatever, and you're gonna cement the roads or put any kind of cement, you're gonna lose from the drainage. It's gonna be a runoff, and it's gonna come back to us, because the next street is Candleglow. And Candleglow, they don't have a ditch behind. It might be a little, very small ditch that they have back there, but there's not a very big ditch that can take a lot of water. All this water goes to the back. It tees off in a main ditch, which is probably about 7, 8 feet wide and about maybe 5 feet deep. That water goes two ways. It goes to T-Bayou it goes all the way down from our street to Willowwood, and then from Willowwood it goes to the main ditch that goes to T-Bayou. And then the runoff that it can't take, it goes to the west, which goes towards Candleglow, and has a ditch that takes some of that water and brings it back to T-Bayou. But this is a serious problem with drainage here. Now, we've beat this thing down the road, just say like the can down the road, because we've been before the council about 12, 15 years ago, whenever it was, and they went through the whole thing about they were gonna, I don't know how wide the property is, I think it's maybe a little over 100-some feet, 100, 200 feet, and they want to put a trailer park there. Well, when you put a trailer park in there, you gotta have fire trucks. The fire trucks couldn't get down there because the road wasn't gonna be big enough. And the drainage, the sewage, they was gonna put a sewage plant in the back at the end of the street because the sewage lines are too small and they can't take the sewage. They felt like the sewage with added sewers going in there, that it would overrun the sewage. So it's not just giving an excess to this property line. It's more than just that. It's just like Natalie said. You got 2 tracts of land there. Yeah, it's some nice property. But why would you go ahead and develop that? You got an easement all the way to Lowerville Road. But if you would develop this, you would flood all our street. And most of Candle Glow also. But another thing is that they couldn't, something with the fire trucks and, see Cedar Lane is down at the bottom there. And that the drainage, the sewer plant was gonna be below that, the south side of that. And it was just a lot of issues that was going on. And that's why they didn't want to touch this. And now she wants to open the street, the little Seminole Street, for through traffic. You're gonna put 2 stop signs on each street. All the traffic that you're gonna have, because they're not going out through the Louisville Road, they're gonna come out on Interloop. It's gonna be a mess. There's a lot of things that go. There's traffic, fire trucks, sewage, water is a big issue. This is a mess, and that's all I have to say. But I've been living there a long time, and you can talk to all these people that live on that street. There's some people that live right across from where Delahousie lives, 3-4 doors down. That lady has water in the house nearly every summertime when there's a big flood. They have to change their floors. Now, I don't know why you would say, all these guys say, well, why don't you move? Well, I'm gonna be 74 years old. I'm retired. I don't wanna move. I don't have much time left in me. But my point is that there's a lot of issues, not just giving a right of way to this property. Because there's a road going out, Rodeo Lane, that she can get out on. So I think you need to do the research on the council, because they got some council minutes that we did all this before, a long time ago. And we just keep bringing this all back up again. Nothing changed. So
Thank you.
that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I've said it in the past, I'll say it again, development's great and planning's great, but at the expense of the people that have been and have roots established or causes problems. It's like I said, I'm dealing with that now. It's all fine and dandy till the problem starts, and then it becomes civil after we've approved stuff and done things that cause the problems. So I'm done with that.
All right, Councilwoman Broussard.
Look, I know that the drainage is a huge issue in this area, and I know these houses are getting flooded, and I know it's a huge problem. And I agree with you, Chad. It's very important, and it is definitely something we have to take into consideration. But we have to take it into consideration when we're dealing with the proper issues. When we're dealing with whether or not we should abandon property that has been dedicated to the parish for a road, drainage is not an issue that we're taking in consideration. We would be considering the drainage if they try to develop that property. They have to follow all of our rules and regulations in subdividing that property. That includes drainage studies and everything else. And everything I'm hearing from these people is that anytime they've tried to improve the property, the people didn't want to invest the way it needed to be invested and do what needed to be done to get the subdivision approved. So actually getting a subdivision approved is a whole separate issue from abandoning a right-of-way. So I don't think we should be confusing the two issues. So the drainage issue will come up if they ever try to subdivide it, but I don't know that we can consider drainage as an issue on whether or not we should abandon property that's been dedicated to the parish. Oh, wait.
Councilman Peller.
Yeah, I mean, Natalie kind of took the words out of my mouth. Our task at hand tonight is abandonment of a right-of-way. A lot of the issues we're hearing is more in the planning stages, which would come after, if they wanted to plan it, they would have to go through the planning commission and show all their plans. I think our task at hand right now is to, for the right-of-way, not the planning side of it, what we're hearing. And look, it's all valid concerns, and obviously y'all concerns were heard the first time they tried to develop this. So, but our task at hand tonight is this abandonment, not anything to do with the planning side of it. You're back.
Councilman Matra.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, Ms. Broussard. I'm just saying we have rules and regulations to follow, and planning and stages and stuff like that. And that was all done in my area too. But look the problems I'm dealing with. So I'm talking about planning also. I'm planning for the future, not to cause more problems for these people. So, I mean, I guess it depends on who's developing it, because some will give them the world, some of them will restrict them. But I completely understand what but I'm also speaking of planning also for the future, not to cause these people more problems. I'm done.
All right, seeing no other, we'll vote on item number 3 as is.
Put the resolution back up.
So a vote yes would authorize the abandonment, and a vote no would not abandon the right of way. So now we'll call for a vote. Everyone vote your machines. Tell me, Paula. All right. And that motion fails with Dustin Swear and Councilman Chad Matran. All right, Anita, I got a motion to adjourn by Councilwoman Broussard. And a second by Councilman Pellerin. Everyone vote your machines of adjournment. Councilman Pellerin, Councilman Landry. Councilman Landry. All right. And that motion passes. The Public Works Committee is now adjourned.